Chapter 1301. Xiao Bei's group of 9 came and went back, leaving behind only 100 people to help the tribe catch fish in Dianqi Lake. They mainly taught the locals how to cast a net, the habits of the fish in Dianqi Lake, and the basic knowledge of raising fish. They were not required to raise fish, but only for those who were willing to do so. When the time came, the fish raised would be fatter. It was not hand-scattered artificial feed, but natural biological bait. How to breed biological bait was also particular, just like the Zhuangzi of the Zhang family and Wang family in Sanshui County to raise maggots and earthworms. Quan Mo never left the riverside. He just called his son closer and patted him twice on the head to relieve his previous worry. For him, the most intuitive impression was that Xiao Bei and the others were very good at swimming, especially Xiao Bei. After entering the water, there was no trace of panic at all. That series of movements made people feel very comfortable, just like on land. In addition, the people who stayed behind now explained the species of fish and shrimp in Dianqi Lake, as well as water birds and so on, made Quan Mo feel that this was not his hometown, but someone else's territory. With confusion, he asked Fan Fan, "Did they already have ideas about my place?" They want to train people who are familiar with swimming first. When the time comes, they are afraid of losses on land, so they run into the water to sneak attack my tribe. Fan Fan did not leave with Xiao Bei and the others. It was not that he was not allowed to go, but as long as he found a random reason, he could follow behind and see Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, but he did not know what to do. Should he say that he was going to help Xiaobao and Cuckoo persuade Quan Mo? It seemed unnecessary. Should he say that he had not been able to meet them, then what? Come back again. It was very far, and it was tiring to walk. Fan Fan was hesitating whether to go or not. When he heard Quan Mo's words, he showed an impatient expression and said, "How many times have I told you? Zhang Xiaobao and Wang family are very powerful. If they want to attack your small tribe, do they need to sneak in from the water? Look, they left behind the salt for you. Actually, they wanted to exchange something with you, but your children were too enthusiastic, so Lil Bei was embarrassed. Didn't you hear what Lil Bei said when she left, that she would bring something else to exchange for the Hericium mushroom and snake gall next time?" Hearing Fan Fan's words, Quan Mo blushed with embarrassment. He had heard it but did not respond. He did not know what he was thinking at that moment. Now, he was slightly worried and asked Fan Fan, "Will their family's adults be angry and send troops to fight? I can't communicate with you today. I've emphasized again and again that they are treating you with a soft policy. Why would they hit you? It's just a little bit of salt. I don't care about it. I care about people. People, you know." Other than being a little harsh to the original Tubo and Tujue, they were very tolerant of the people in the surrounding areas who had not established their own countries. If you don't believe me, take a look tomorrow. You'll understand when you see their martial prowess. They can kill hundreds of you as easily as crushing an ant. With their team, they can fight from here to the capital in one breath. No one can stop them. After Fan Fan finished speaking, he no longer paid attention to Quan Mo. He kept asking the same questions and was tired of answering. He glared at Quan Mo and walked into the tribe. He had to stay there tonight. Quan Mo was not angry. He liked the people of the Great Tang who were honest. He was very disgusted by those who did not speak the truth. If it were not for the things in daily life, he would not be willing to interact with those people. Of course, he also had a good impression of Lil Bei and the others. Lil Bei's words were too obvious. She wanted them to submit to the Great Tang and listen to the Great Tang's imperial court. It was much better to say one thing in front of them and another behind their backs. However, Quan Mo did not understand that Lil Bei spoke according to the person. If she saw that you were an honest person, she would tell you the truth. If you tried to spin in circles with her, she would draw countless circles for you and let you see what diplomatic language was. Because she did not speak more diplomatic language with others, Lil Bei did not feel satisfied. Thus, when she saw her brother and sister, she opened her mouth and said, "When interacting with the locals today, I found that they look forward to peace, have kind hearts, and are full of yearning for a better life in the future. They are such a group. Therefore, we have decided to follow the principle of people-oriented, concern first, and sincere communication with them. We will further communicate with them. However, you called us back and made us lose this opportunity. What should we do? Your sister is asking you." Wang Wan very naturally shifted Lil Bei's question to Zhang Xiaobao. Zhang Xiaobao sized up his sister. Seeing that Lil Bei seemed to be waiting for an explanation, he withdrew his smile and said to Lil Bei, "We already know about the problem you raised. Your exchange with the other side was a successful one. It was a meeting that carried forward the past and opened the way for the future. It promoted the integration and development of the people, and it also laid the initial foundation for the unification of the motherland. Your contributions cannot go unnoticed. You are worth learning from. For this reason, I respectfully commend your selfless contributions on behalf of our Zhang Xiaobao and Wang clans. I hope that you can carry forward the past and open the way for the future and make even greater contributions to the diplomatic cause." He, brother, you're too funny. Others don't even know how to cooperate. It's you who's the best. I gave them the salt for free this time. The main reason is that I found that the tribal chief called Quan Mo, really doesn't understand us. He's always on guard. I think that if we still exchange things with them, plus the fact that there's salt here, they should think that we're here to take advantage of them. Anyway, if they develop well in the future, we won't have to worry. We don't lack these things. I found that Dianqi Lake is really beautiful. The water is blue. I dived very deep. When I opened my eyes, it was like there was a large piece of transparent glass in front of me. It's much better than the Yellow River. The last time I saved people in the Yellow River, when I opened my eyes, everything I saw was turbid. Lil Bei threw herself into her brother's arms and acted coquettishly. She then commented on Dianqi Lake. Zhang Xiaobao nodded. Dianqi Lake has always been very beautiful. The local people are also very simple. It's just that they were always bullied in the past. Later, they swallowed up another surname. In the end, after a period of time, they were destroyed by the unified Six Zhao. I mean, if we didn't come, now that we're here, we don't have to worry about that kind of thing happening. I know. Brother and sister can calculate. You said that there's salt here, so there must be salt. Brother, this is the first time I know how important salt is to people. They live a very hard life. Perhaps they didn't feel it before, but they know it now. For a little salt, they are willing to pay a lot of things. I mean, we now understand why you want to suppress the price of salt in Tang and even threaten that the people can't live without salt. Lil Bei shared what she had learned. In Luzhou and Hangzhou, salt was worthless. It could be dried by the sea, and there were piles and piles of it. Zhang Xiaobao was very gratified. He wanted to nurture his younger brothers and sisters to be more exposed to the affairs of the people and not be high and mighty. If an official was not down to earth and did not know what mistake he had made when he was caught, how sad would that be? Of course, what was even sadder was that he knew that he had made a mistake, but he refused to admit it. He knew that he had made a mistake, and you knew that he had made a mistake. He knew that you knew that he had made a mistake, but he still forced you to admit that he did not know that he had made a mistake. To use a word to describe it, it was rape. When a man raped a woman, he would blaspheme the body. When an official raped the people, he would blaspheme the soul. Zhang Xiaobao was not worried that his younger brothers and sisters would become like that. That kind of official was an incompetent official. However, he still had to say what he should say. Since you know the importance of the people's livelihood, you have to control the scale. When you sell grain to the people, you can't increase the price. When the harvest is good, you have to maintain the price when you buy grain from the people. What means do you use to make up for the difference? Cheap grain hurts the farmers, and high officials hurt the officials. Let me discuss this. One person is short. Lil Bei could not answer, but she was not depressed. She never thought that she could do everything by herself. She had always worked as a team. After a while, Lil Bei returned and said with a smile, "I know. The price of grain sold to the people must not exceed the depreciation of the currency. In other words, on average, a person earns 1 copper coin a day. If grain is 5 copper coins a bushel, then a person earns 2 copper coins a day. The price of grain must not be higher than 8 copper coins a bushel." Why not 10 copper coins? Zhang Xiaobao was stunned. This answer was too good. Wang Wan, who was beside him, also showed an expectant look. Lil Bei puffed out her chest and said, "Because when a person earns 2 copper coins a day, it means that the value of labor in our country has increased. In other words, there will be a lower cost of necessary survival items to offset the price. If there is no offset, it means that the imperial court's policy has failed. Once there is an offset, the price of necessary goods will be lowered. At the same time, new life aids will be added. Then, according to this, it should not be 10 copper coins a bushel of grain. Instead, 2 copper coins should be used for living aids. If the production is better, it can even be 3 copper coins or 4 copper coins a day. Let's think about it. This is what a government should do. Otherwise, how can we talk about a good life? In the process of improving production technology and transforming it into productivity, if the quality of life of the people does not improve, who will the extra value belong to? Whoever it belongs to is corrupt, or is closely related to corruption. Clap, clap, clap. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan applauded together. Although the 2 necessary factors were missing, the younger siblings' answer was already good enough. If they added in the material and spiritual needs of human companions in the process of human existence, as well as the natural desires of society to influence the people around them, then it would be even more perfect. However, the younger siblings had already done very well, so they could not be too harsh on them. Lil Bei also seemed to know that the things that she and the others had painstakingly thought of were not worth mentioning in front of her siblings. Thus, when she heard the applause, she smiled modestly and said, "All of this is due to your efforts. Now, can you tell me what kind of mission you have arranged for us?" "Your mission is very simple. You are to appease their children while we accompany the adults of their tribe to hunt. I'll give you an idea. A fun buffet," Zhang Xiaobao said to his sister. Then, he shouted outside, "Send someone to protect Fan Fan. He only knows how to cause trouble for me." Chapter 1302. The next day, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan arrived in front of the village. They did not bring many people with them, only 300. 100 would participate in the hunt, and the other 200 would be guards. Of course, this did not include Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. After all, they were only children. Unlike Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, who were strong fighters, they had more guards, 500 people. However, they did not participate in the hunt. They invited the local children to play at Dianqi Lake. Fan Fan also got up early. He slept very soundly last night, Unlike before when he was always worried that the people surnamed Meng would suddenly attack or that the people of the 6th Zhao would launch a sneak attack. Fan Fan was not worried at all when he slept with the Tang Empire's strongest protection team nearby. He did not believe that Xiao Bao and Cuckoo would be able to breach the defense in this area. Therefore, he made an exception and drank a little more local wine. He fell asleep in a daze. Even the men he brought drank with him and lay down to rest comfortably. He did not even ask them to be on guard. Xiao Bao and Cuckoo's camp were not far away. What was there to be afraid of? As soon as they met today, Zhang Xiaobao said to Fan Fan with a smile, "It looks like you had a good rest last night. Your eyes are bright. Hey, with you guys here, when Xiaobei and the others went back yesterday, they would definitely mention me. Not to mention in my brother's tribe, even if I was in the enemy's camp, you would not let me be in any danger. You took advantage of me, ah." Fan Fan was not reserved and laughed and talked with Zhang Xiaobao. Quan Moa next to them finally understood why Fan Fan, who had never drunk before, drank so much last night. It was because the Zhang Xiaobao and Wang family between the clouds and the water were camping not far away. How confident was he? This only explained one thing. The Zhang Xiaobao and Wang family were so arrogant that wherever they were, they represented stability. Otherwise, how could Fan Fan dare not to let people be on guard? Quan Mo subconsciously lowered his head. He didn't have the confidence to let the people of his tribe go out and bring some people to camp nearby. When the time came, the people of his tribe would feel relieved. Quan Mo asked Fan Fan in disbelief, "What if I had attacked you last night? I'll hear a series of bangs, and when I wake up in the morning, I won't see you alive anymore. Actually, I regret it very much. I shouldn't have stayed here with you. The best place for me to stay is next to their tent. That way, they won't have to worry about me." Fan Fan said to Quan Mo with a smile. He knew that Quan Mo was joking. Moreover, he was not on guard against Quan Mo. He was on guard against other people. What do you mean? Quan Mo was confused. Nothing. Last night, when Xiao Bao and Cuckoo found out that I was staying in your village, they sent people to hide in the dark to protect us. They worked hard all night, so I regret it very much. I shouldn't have done that. When I go back, I will donate the profit this time. Otherwise, I will feel uneasy. Fan Fan said with certainty. His eyes began to look around. Suddenly, he stopped and pointed to a place. He said to Quan Mo, "Look over there." Xiao Bao and Cuckoo's snipers have been watching for more than 2 hours. Quan Mo looked in the direction Fan Fan pointed. Sure enough, a group of people came out of his village yawning. He didn't know when they came in. Where are they hiding? Do you know them? They sent people to protect you. Quan Mo asked in surprise. Fan Fan shook his head. I don't know them, but I am from the Tang Empire. Yesterday, I was a little selfish and implicated Xiao Bao and Cuckoo's people. My purpose was to tell you why I was so protective of them. Now you know, right? With them by my side, I am absolutely safe. Quan Mo felt an inexplicable envy in his heart. If he were Fan Fan, perhaps he would also protect Xiao Bao and Cuckoo. In order to protect someone who belonged to them, they hid them in the village. The sticks they are holding, spears. You will know in a moment. As a brother, I advise you not to always think that your tribe's martial arts are powerful. You still don't believe it, Fan Fan said helplessly. When Zhang Xiaobao heard them talk, he stepped forward and directly gave Quan Mo a hug. Then, he took 2 steps back and said with a smile, I have heard of Chief Quan Mo's wisdom. Today, I see that hearing about you is not as good as meeting you in person. Quan Moa was not stupid. He knew that this was just a formality. He was unhappy and asked, "You don't believe in my ability to protect Boss Fan?" "Yes." Zhang Xiaobao's one-word answer was even more straightforward. He continued, "I am indeed worried about you. Fan Fan is a citizen of the Great Tang. If I didn't come, I wouldn't be able to say anything. But since I am here, all citizens of the Great Tang are under my protection. In any land, I can walk around and do whatever I want. Do you dare? Not to mention other places, even here at Dianqi Lake, are you not worried that the Meng tribe will suddenly attack? I am strong in two ways. To people, the strong will always be strong. To the heavens, the strong will always be stronger. Do you dare to say that? All the Tang people know that Cuckoo and I have never backed down from natural disasters. To people, we can communicate, but we will not accept any threats or intimidation. Do you not agree?" Zhang Xiaobao had already seen Quan Moa's character. If you tried to reason with him, it would be useless. Besides strength, there was also sincerity. Quan Moa's breathing quickened. He was indeed stimulated by Zhang Xiaobao's words. He wanted to use the method of a warrior to challenge this person who was not as old as him. But he stared at Zhang Xiaobao and gave up. He knew that he could not beat the person in front of him. Although this person stood there casually, there did not seem to be any flaws in his body. Especially his exposed arms and the rolled-up trouser legs that exposed his calves. The flesh inside was in strips, which looked very obvious, and not in pieces. There was also the bulging flesh on his neck. It looked relaxed, but it proved that he had a strong resistance to beatings. Quan Mo even had the thought that if he made a move, he would be defeated in the blink of an eye. Because he was also a hunter, when he looked at this person, he felt that he was facing a lone wolf or a tiger that was not big but very aggressive. Then he looked at the woman next to him who was called Cuckoo by Fan Fan. Why did her position make him feel so uncomfortable? At the moment when he regarded the other as an enemy, he faintly felt that once he launched an attack, he would face the surging tide of the two people like a hurricane in Dianqi Lake. Quan Mo could not figure it out, but he would never ignore his intuition, so he looked back and forth. Quan Mo, what are you looking at? Xiao Bao, Cuckoo, they are very friendly. Fan Fan touched Quan Mo and said. Quan Mo almost cried. Friendly. Look at their positions, which side do you want me to guard against? People who do business really have no vision. Zhang Xiaobao took a step back, and Quan Mo instantly felt comfortable. Then he heard the person opposite him say, "Hunting, directly using our normal weapons is bullying you. Let's do it this way. First, we will let you see what our normal weapons look like. Then, we will give up this weapon and compete with you on the same level. So, you don't have to be upset or unconvinced. Cuckoo and I will accompany you and we will hunt together. Just a reminder, don't do anything to me and Cuckoo, otherwise." Chapter 1303. Hearing Zhang Xiaobao's words, Quan Mo nodded in agreement. Originally, he did not intend to do anything bad. He had already seen that the people of Tang were very supportive of Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. If he angered them, not only would they not help him collect salt, but the merchants would also not come to trade. How would he live in the future? He only said that the medicine he exchanged was very good. If he had a headache or fever, he did not need to ask for help. He only needed to take 2 pills. I have already sent someone to inform my king. When the time comes, my king may send someone to summon you. I dare not be rude to you. Quan Mo expressed his attitude first. Otherwise, if the two misunderstood and directly left, where would he find salt? He also mentioned that the leader on his side was the great Tang's appointed vassal king. He hoped that he could use his status as the leader to pressure the two of them and make them stay for a few more days. When the time came, it would be easier for them to dig for salt. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were indifferent. They looked at the people of the other side's tribe and estimated the fighting strength of the other side. It was not that they wanted to fight with the other side, but when they were ready to win, they would not win too much so that they could improve communication. When the time comes, you can go and see our king. Don't be afraid. Our king will entertain you with wine and dance, Quan Mo added. Zhang Xiaobao finally spoke. We don't have time. Tell someone to tell him that we are not going to patrol his place this time. Let him come here by himself and wait for 3 days. If he does not come in 3 days, then don't come. If he wants to see the song and dance, he will bring his own people and wine. We did not bring much. That is our king. Quan Mo was dissatisfied. The vassal king given by your emperor has a seal. You dare to let our king come to see you. Before Zhang Xiaobao could explain, the merchant Fan Fan came over. He said to Quan Mo, Brother Mo, if King Quan Gue knows that Xiaobao and Cuckoo are here, he will be very happy and will personally come to see you. On my side, even His Majesty has to personally find Xiaobao and Cuckoo if something special happens. Except for their relatives, no one can order them. What about you? They sent people to protect you. If Fan Fan had not lied to him, this Xiaobao or Cuckoo was definitely a heaven-like existence in the Great Tang. Without waiting for Fan Fan to answer, Quan Mo asked Zhang Xiaobao, can you see your emperor as you please? It's not casual. In Chang'an, we try our best not to go there when the court is in session. We also don't disturb Her Majesty when she sleeps. The former is because my father is an official in the imperial court. If we go over, it won't be good for us to stand there. If we stand too high up, we will press down on my father, and the etiquette will be disrupted. If we stand too low up, the other officials will be afraid. The latter is because he's resting. It's not good to disturb him, right? What if he's pampering someone, right? Zhang Xiaobao explained, winking at Quan Mo at the end. It was easy to get closer to a man when talking about men. Quan Mo did not feel that their relationship was close at all. Instead, it felt even more distant. He felt that the two of them should not be standing in front of him and talking casually. Normally, he should be kneeling at their feet. An envoy from the Celestial Empire with such great authority. What if there's an emergency that requires the emperor to deal with? Is pampering a woman more important, or are national affairs more important? Quan Mo asked carefully. Fan Fan continued, if there's no emergency that requires your majesty to deal with, as long as Xiaobao and Cuckoo stay in the capital, they will make the decision for themselves. There's no need for your majesty to worry about them. Your majesty can pamper them as you wish. Also, as for what you asked me just now, I didn't order them. They sent troops to protect me because I'm a Tang citizen. However, I can actually ask them to do something, and they usually won't refuse. Isn't that right, Xiaobao? Yes, but there's a prerequisite, Zhang Xiaobao admitted frankly. I know. I can't do anything that will harm the Great Tang. Fan Fan was satisfied. He knew that Xiaobao only needed to say a few words today. If he asked again, Xiaobao would not refuse. There was no need for witnesses or a contract. Xiaobao's words were more reliable than any guarantee. Brother Fan, didn't you say that no one can order them around? Quan Mo was confused. I said that if they have nothing to do, officials can't order them around. I didn't say anything about ordinary people. For example, when they pass by a village in the Great Tang, a villager comes up and says, "Xiao Bao, help me repair my house." Xiao Bao will send people to help repair the house, and at the same time, repair the houses of the other villagers as well. Fan Fan said in a proud tone. Quan Mo finally understood what was going on. Although he had never experienced it, he felt the same way. It turned out that the two people in front of him were such existences in the Great Tang. Their power could compete with the Emperor of the Great Tang, and when they loved the people, they could become the most ordinary person to interact with ordinary people. They were existences that the officials feared, but were also loved and respected by the people. No wonder Fan Fan said that if he offended these two people, the people of the Great Tang would fight to the death with him. How could such people exist in this world? Should he first express his position and agree to join the Great Tang, and then persuade the leader? It seemed that with such people guarding, it would be very safe. Quan Mo hesitated for a moment. He wanted to express his opinion, but he was embarrassed. However, when he looked at Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, his eyes were full of expectation and desire. Zhang Xiaobao saw Quan Mo's expression and knew what he was thinking. However, it seemed that it was not the right time. He needed to wait, so he said, "Let's take a look at our weapons first." Quan Mo immediately put away his thoughts and nodded. "Okay. Do you see the small branch sticking out of the tree 20 steps away?" Zhang Xiaobao asked. Quan Mo narrowed his eyes and looked. "I see it." With a bang, the branch broke. Zhang Xiaobao's revolver was smoking. Quan Mo trembled in fear and looked at the broken branch in shock. He then glanced at the thing in Zhang Xiaobao's hand and subconsciously took 2 steps back. He swallowed hard and said, "Again, let me see." Zhang Xiaobao put his left hand on the hammer behind the revolver and said to Quan Mo, "Do you see the 2 big leaves 15 steps away and an arm's length apart? They were bitten by insects and are a little yellow." "Wait a minute." Quan Mo took a deep breath and rubbed his eyes. After he was ready, he nodded. "I see it." With a bang, the 2 leaves floated down. Quan Mo's eyes widened. He raised his arm and wiped the sweat on his forehead with his sleeve. He looked at the smoking thing again and asked in disbelief, "2 at once?" "2 at once." It was very fast. "What you heard was the sound of 2 together," Zhang Xiaobao kindly explained to him. "How are they so fast?" Quan Mo was scared. If there were people attacking him, there would be 2 in the blink of an eye. Fan Fan was also surprised. He had never seen Xiaobao and Cuckoo in action. He had only heard that they were very powerful. Today, he had learned something new. He clapped excitedly and asked, "Xiaobao, is this the fastest gun in the Tang dynasty?" Zhang Xiaobao shook his head. "No, 2 of the 4 people around Xiaobei are faster than me." "Of course, you can ignore them. Stand 30 meters away and act at the same time. As long as you don't miss, both sides will die." "What if it's further?" Fan Fan was curious. "If it's 500 meters away, I'll stand and wait for him to shoot. When he runs out of bullets, I'll chase after him and beat him to the ground. Then, I'll step on him and spit on him," Zhang Xiaobao joked. "Hee, the revolver can't shoot that far." "I know." Fan Fan laughed. At the same time, he was thinking about how to brag to the other merchants when he got back. He wanted to make them regret it when they refused his invitation. Fan Fan could already imagine the other merchants who didn't come when he invited them this time. After hearing about his opportunity, they beat their chests and stamped their feet. Quan Mo, on the other hand, had a lingering fear. It turned out that the 4 guys who didn't have any combat power beside the 9 guys yesterday were so powerful. If he really had bad intentions at that time, he would probably be lying there being guarded and buried in a few days. Someone, bring a long gun. Zhang Xiaobao shouted behind him. Chapter 1304. A long gun was handed over. Zhang Xiaobao took it and looked at the aiming line. He casually found a tree trunk about 100 steps away and fired. Then, he looked through the binoculars and nodded. He said to Quan Moa, choose a target. I saw you hit the tree trunk. Amazing. Quan Moa's eyes were good. He found that there was a mark on the tree trunk where Zhang Xiaobao had fired at. Zhang Xiaobao smiled and said, not counted. Choose another one. Madam. I don't need it. Wang Wan said, but she also took a gun. She also looked at the aiming line and found a tree trunk about 100 steps away. She also hit the target. Quan Moa pulled Fan Fan, who was watching the show, and asked, Tang's weapons are so powerful now. It's people who are amazing. Not only are Xiaobao and Cuckoo good at using them, but you don't know, they were the ones who invented the guns, and many other things. They are the treasures that the heavens have given us. I warn you, don't think about them. Let's not talk about whether you can keep them. Even if you do, they won't do anything for you. There is only one word for you. Death, I know. Quan Moa didn't dare to think about kidnapping two people to do things for his tribe. And why should he kidnap them? It was fine as long as they surrendered. Didn't they also surrender before? It was just that their own tribe was in charge of their own territory. They didn't have a good life and still relied on Tang merchants to trade things. After they surrendered, they would send people to take care of them. He believed that their lives would be good. At least the problem of salt was solved. Moreover, it seemed that they didn't intend to bully his people after his tribe surrendered. He felt that they were very easy to talk to. Brother Fan, I think they are too kind. They will suffer a lot in the future. If other tribes are not like us and they are good to others, they may be in danger if others plot against them. Quan Moa kindly reminded Fan Fan. Fan Fan was stunned and looked at Quan Moa in surprise. After a while, he whispered, kind. Suffer losses. That's right. Look at Xiaobao. He's always so gentle. When he threatens people, he's not aggressive. Although he looks like he can fight, he can't beat a group of people by himself. And Cuckoo. She's so beautiful, especially when she smiles. I'm old now. Otherwise, I'd have to chase after her. Quan Mo began to change his identity psychologically. He now regarded himself as a Tang citizen, so he kindly advised him. Fan Fan pointed at Quan Mo. You. Brother Mo. If you think so, then you are wrong, very wrong. My mother, how can it be like this? Previously, when I said that they were kind, that expression of yours. That's not the same thing. You're saying that they're kind because they can't fight. I think they're very good at fighting, so they're not kind. The kindness I speak of is from the heart. They can fight, but they're not willing to fight. You're from the great Tang, how could you not understand? Quan Mo followed Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan to the depths of the mountain while whispering to Fan Fan. As for Zhang Xiaobao's words just now about letting him choose a target, he automatically ignored it. He was not familiar with this kind of weapon at all. How could he choose? Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan did not urge him. They were checking the guns to see how the inner courtyard usually maintained and how the practice was. The inner courtyard was for the servants, not for the protection of the seedlings. But they also had to be familiar with the weapons. Fan Fan was in distress and patiently explained to Quan Mo. Do you know what happened to Tubo in the past? Do you know why the Tujua disappeared? It's not that they disappeared, but they scattered. Do you know the situation of the tribes in the north of Hebei province of the Tang? I don't know about Hebei province, but I've heard about Tubo and Tujue. Quan Mo waited for Fan Fan to continue. It's good that you've heard about it. It's all thanks to Xiao Bao and Cuckoo. Cuckoo led the army there and directly killed. Corpses piled up like mountains and blood flowed like rivers. Tubo was scared in an instant. Xiao Bao followed and made the Tubo people hungry. Is he kind? Fan Fan said and asked. Quan Mo shook his head hard and guiltily looked at Xiao Bao and Cuckoo who were studying the guns. He showed a frightened expression and asked Fan Fan, is it that scary? Devil Cuckoo, with a smile, people will be destroyed. Ruthless Xiao Bao, killing without spilling blood. Don't you think it's scary? Do you know that the officials of the Tang Empire are most afraid of Cuckoo smiling at them? There's a saying that one would rather hear 100 ghosts howling than see Cuckoo smile. At that time, Cuckoo killed the Tubo people until they didn't have the slightest bit of courage. During the negotiation, Cuckoo went out and the Tubo cavalry retreated. That was really a general suppressing 1,000 cavalry. Do you still think they're kind? Fan Fan said while shivering. He didn't see it personally, but he could imagine how fierce the war was at that time. After shivering, he laughed again and said, but the Tang Empire is not afraid. We call Cuckoo a little fairy. If you want to pursue her, don't mention it to others in the future. It will be life-threatening. You're too far away. Only our Xiao Bao can do it. Xiao Bao belongs to Cuckoo, and Cuckoo belongs to Xiao Bao. My family has set up a longevity tablet. When I'm at home, I personally burn incense and pray. When I'm not at home, there are people who guarantee that the incense will continue. To say something disgraceful, now that His Majesty is dead, I'm just sad. After all, he was a good emperor. If Xiao Bao and Cuckoo. Look at my mouth, it's so cheap. I won't say it. Fan Fan slapped himself at the end of his words. Quan Moa figured out everything in an instant and no longer had doubts in his heart. He said to Fan Fan, I understand. It's because of Cuckoo and Xiao Bao that you can do business safely. Yes, everyone in the Tang Empire is grateful to them. So 3 years ago, their caravan between the clouds and the water came to set the price, and we followed it. We can't not follow it. Xiao Bao's dignity can't be challenged. Otherwise, the consequences will be terrible. This is fear. But when we choose to follow it, it's not fear first, but respect first. Fan Fan mentioned the past and told Quan Moa that their tribe should be grateful to Xiao Bao. Quan Moa decided that he had to find an opportunity to express his opinion. Otherwise, when Xiao Bao and Cuckoo left, he would lose such a good opportunity. But there was something he couldn't figure out, so he asked Fan Fan, since they are so powerful, why don't they just use force to subdue us? Are long things and short things guns? It's easy for them to subdue us. Because you speak the same words as us and use the same language. Xiao Bao and Cuckoo have always regarded you as one of their own and couldn't do it. And the 6 Xiao in the West participated in the conspiracy of the Jiangnan Society. The 2 of them should give them a chance and cherish it. Don't push them too far. Their retreat is not cowardice. In fact, Xiao Bao and Cuckoo have always compromised with the Tang Empire. Xiao Bao's ability is something that only businessmen can imagine. Have you heard of the top list of billionaires? Fan Fan asked. He didn't want Quan Moa's tribe to disappoint Xiao Bao and Cuckoo. Quan Moa nodded. The businessmen who came here said that you can't get in at all. I know. It said that it's very powerful. Everyone on the list has a lot of things and money. Yes, I can't get in. I have too little money, and I can't make more profit when I operate. The top 3 were all taught by Xiao Bao, and Xiao Bao is above the list, like an eagle in the sky. Fan Fan's heart was full of infinite yearning. Quan Moa got to know Xiao Bao again. Following Fan Fan's words, he looked up at the sky. There was indeed an eagle in the sky. It was so white, like a cloud. If one didn't look carefully, they wouldn't be able to tell that it was an eagle. So his eyes lit up and he first discussed with Fan Fan. How about letting them hit that eagle? Hit you. Fan Fan felt that Quan Moa had become stupid after seeing the people from the Zhang family and Wang family. He said angrily to Quan Moa, "That's Shui Yun, General Shui Yun. He's an official of the Tang Empire. Not to mention that he can't fly so high, even if he can, who dares to hit him? Who is willing to hit him? If Shui Yun gets tired of flying one day and lands in my house, I will kill the smallest lamb and feed it to Shui Yun. My lambs are raised to be roasted whole. The white eagle in the sky is a general." Quan Moa felt that it was unbelievable. Yes, Shui Yun participated in the war against Tubo. He helped to deliver information, helped to kill people, and also stopped the Tubo's eagles from flying. He's very powerful. Without him, the war with Tubo would have been delayed. His evaluation was, endless blade of Guanshan, throwing head to death on the battlefield, Ling Tian, who dares to fly, guarding 1,000 miles with one eagle alone. At that time, there were less than 10 eagles raised by Tubo facing Shui Yun, and they didn't dare to fly. Tell me, how arrogant is the white eagle you see now? Most importantly, he can help to deliver information from the capital to Tubo, flying back and forth. Can you bear to kill him? When Fan Fan was talking to Quan Moa, he didn't forget to wave at Shui Yun. Shui Yun gave him face and slid down, landing on a nearby branch. It chirped at Fan Fan, flapped its wings, and landed on the gun on Zhang Xiaobao's arm. It rubbed its head against Zhang Xiaobao's face, appearing very intimate. Where did your family go? Zhang Xiaobao also rubbed his head against Shui Yun's neck and asked. Quack, quack. Shui Yun chirped twice and turned to look at Dianqi Lake. Oh, they're catching fish in the water. Tell them to throw the fish they caught into the tent. I'll cut them into thin slices for you at night, add a little salt, and some yellow rice wine. Zhang Xiaobao gestured with one hand and said to Shui Yun. Quack. As long as one was a normal person, they would be able to hear the joy in Shui Yun's voice. Then, Shui Yun flew away with the help of Zhang Xiaobao's gun. Fan Fan's eyes moved. Quan Moa directly prostrated himself on the ground, bowed to Bai Ying, and then kowtowed to Zhang Xiaobao. At this moment, he was completely convinced. That was an eagle, they could actually communicate like this. Xiao Bao, tell him to come back. I want to take a look again. Fan Fan pleaded. Quan Moa was also looking forward to it. After today's hunting, come back with me. I'll let you take a look at Shui Yun and show me your hometown. If I can believe you, you can also guarantee that every time you meet Shui Yun, you will personally slaughter the cows and sheep. If there's no problem, I can give you a horizontal map of Shui Yun's family supply point. In the future, Shui Yun's family can go to your place if they want to eat. After all, their family's mission is very important. They don't have time to hunt by themselves. If there's a stable supply point, it's still good for them. Now, it's always been my family's business that has such a map. Zhang Xiaobao said to Fan Fan. Fan Fan hurriedly promised, trembling with excitement. Don't worry, I'll eat first. If there's poison in it, I'll be poisoned to death first. If I don't die, I'll feed them. In the future, no matter where I go, I'll bring a sheep with me and raise it myself. I won't let anyone else touch it. When I see Shui Yun's family, I'll kill them and feed them raw meat. I'll test them. Fan Fan was serious. This was glory. Not everyone was qualified to feed Shui Yun's family. But he also understood that he had to prove that he wouldn't poison them. Okay, apply. Find more than 6 guarantors. The family members must have no criminal records. At the same time, there must be more than 200 of them. If, there's no if. I understand. I'll find them, Fan Fan promised. He knew what would happen after that. It would be the annihilation of his family and 9 generations. Zhang Xiaobao nodded. It's not that I don't want to believe you. After all, Shuiyun can't compare to us. If we go to your house to eat, Cuckoo and I don't need anyone to test the poison. A powerful eagle is very fragile when it falls. Quan Moa watched and listened from the side. He felt very warm. Xiao Bao, Cuckoo, and their family's eagle were working for the Tang Empire. The Tang Empire's people were trying their best to help them. The more Quan Moa thought about it, the more comfortable he felt. He felt that as long as he belonged to the Tang Empire, he wouldn't have to worry about being bullied in the future. So he found a reason to ask, can Shuiyun catch birds? Zhang Xiaobao thought about it and replied, Shuiyun's family can catch birds, but not for eating, but for practicing. Their normal source of food is raw meat provided by us with a little salt and yellow wine. They like to drink a little wine, and then they'll be very happy. Pick a bird. I'll shoot it. I'll show you the power of a spear. Quan Moa began to look for birds. The gunshots and Shui Yun's appearance had caused many birds to run away. Now, some of them had returned. He pointed to a bird on the treetop and said, shoot it. A sparrow, right? Oh, yes. Bang, bang, 2 gunshots sounded. A sparrow was missing from the treetop, and another one fell from the sky. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan put away their spears at the same time. Chapter 1305. Quan Moa felt that the beating in his chest was about to stop. He felt that he was not facing a human, but a god. From Fan Fan's words, he knew that Xiao Bao was very good at making money, and he could use this method to attack a group of people. Cuckoo, on the other hand, could command a battle and participate in it personally. These 2 people could obtain absolute power in Tang, which meant that they were also very good at political struggles. Then why was his martial power so strong? From the way they stood before, it could be seen that they were used to attacking the enemy together. They looked less than 20 years old. How could this be? Fan Fan did not think much about it. In his opinion, what he saw was too normal. Xiao Bao and Cuckoo were very powerful. The barking of dogs came from the other side. 2 of the hunting dogs that Xiao Bao and Wang Wan brought back the sparrows. Both of their heads were smashed. The dogs put the sparrows down and squatted aside, very obedient. However, Quan Mo could see that these 2 dogs were not honest, but a kind of calmness. The dogs' eyes were narrowed, but it did not mean that they had no spirit, so he enviously asked, do the dogs you brought dare to fight with the tigers here? It's not about whether they dare or not. Just like the soldiers of Tang, when they are needed, they will go. They never consider how strong the enemy is. Wang Wan smiled and said, if there is a need, I can also sacrifice myself, Fan Fan said. Quan Moa did not doubt Fan Fan's words. He already knew that the strength of Tang was in the bones, and all of this was brought about by Xiao Bao and Cuckoo. Bring the grenade launcher. Zhang Xiaobao ordered the people behind him. The grenade launcher was a grenade launcher with primer. It made it easier for soldiers to throw grenades, and it could be thrown further than a person. Quan Moa saw that a new weapon was brought forward, and his expression became serious. Zhang Xiaobao took the grenade launcher and looked at the hill in front of them. He pointed to a small tree about 150 or 160 paces away and said to Quan Mo, how about we hit that tree? All right. Quan Mo wasn't in the mood to think too much. Zhang Xiaobao placed the grenade launcher on the ground. He squinted his eyes and looked at it. After adjusting the angle slightly, he took a grenade and put it in. He pulled the lever, and with a bang, the grenade flew out. The moment the grenade flew out, Zhang Xiaobao put in another grenade and pulled the lever again. Quan Mo watched as the small tree disappeared in a curtain of fire and smoke. About a breath of time later, the fire reappeared in its original position and a sound was heard. Zhang Xiaobao clapped his hands and stood up. Wang Wan looked at him and said, "Not bad." The first shot hit the target directly, and the second shot 3 meters behind. This is how mercenaries usually use it. The purpose is to eliminate the enemy's second fireman. It seems that you received good training. It's just a so-so. It's mainly because the veteran mercenaries can judge the trajectory when they hear it. I had to use the sound of the first shot to cover the second shot. In fact, against a powerful enemy, 2 shots won't kill one. At most, it can delay the enemy's continuous attack. Zhang Xiaobao humbly replied. Anyway, the 2 people in front of him did not understand. Quan Mo ran over as fast as he could to check the situation. He saw 2 small pits in front of him. Some of the surrounding branches were cut, and some of the leaves were pierced. For a moment, he was silent. When Zhang Xiaobao and the others strolled over, he still had not recovered. Zhang Xiaobao said to him again, "There are a few more powerful weapons, but we won't take them out. The most powerful field artillery is too heavy, so we didn't bring it. We only brought 20 infantry cannons. This time, we won't use such weapons. Like you, we will use knives and bows. We don't have bows, but we have crossbows." Quan Mo did not say anything. He did not know what a field artillery was or what an infantry cannon was. Fan Fan was anxious. "Xiaobao, what if you don't bring powerful weapons? What if you need to fight? I'll go back immediately and organize the other caravans. Even if I have to carry it on my shoulders, I'll carry the cannons for you." Zhang Xiaobao waved his hand. "No need. The other 3 fronts are equipped with field artillery to train the soldiers. Do you think we need to use artillery to attack the enemy without any fortifications? My artillery has always been trained with live ammunition. The other field armies of the Tang Empire don't have so much money to spend, so they can only use it on the battlefield." Fan Fan was relieved. He looked around and said, I'd better go back and wait. I don't know how to hunt. I'll go to the place where we'll gather and prepare the charcoal. I'll wait for you to come back and eat." Fan Fan turned and left. Zhang Xiaobao looked at Quan Mo and invited him, "Let's go together. We'll form a group of 3. As he spoke, Zhang Xiaobao picked up a crossbow and a single-edged serrated knife. Wang Wan looked at them and asked someone to bring over 10 triangular thorns. She handed them to Zhang Xiaobao and said, "Use these to run to the nearest prey. In fact, the javelin is more lethal." Zhang Xiaobao took the weapons and asked someone to bring an iron javelin and carry it on his back. He was worried that he would encounter a bear or tiger. The javelin was not for attacking, but for setting up camp better. The adults went hunting, and Xiao Bei also had his own mission. They had to lead the local children to play. It was not a step of the invasion, but a way to find something to earn money for the local children. The local people did not need to be brainwashed. The language and writing they used was the same as the Tang Empire. At the same time, there was no need to start a war with them. As long as they were willing to provide them with a better life, they would naturally make a choice. Unlike Shinlua and Japan, where there were many people and they still lived on their own islands and peninsulas. Xiao Bei and the others first asked someone to measure the children in the tribe and make 2 sets of clothes as quickly as possible as a greeting gift. Make them bigger. Children grow very quickly. Add a layer of clothes on their elbows, knees, and buttocks. Don't make them look like patches. They have to be wear-resistant and beautiful. Also, leave some leftovers and needles for them. If they wear them, they can mend them themselves. The big man instructed the person who measured the children's figures. The children in the tribe did not know so much. They were happy to have new clothes to wear and were closer to Xiao Bei and the others. It did not take long for the children's figures to be measured. The inner courtyard immediately rushed to make the clothes. Xiao Bei brought the children to the side of Dianqi Lake and did not go into the water. She asked someone to net a few carps and said to the local children, "Do you usually eat carps?" "Yes." A few children shouted together. "There are many bones." There were also children who pointed out the bad points of this fish. "I know there are many bones. How do you usually eat it?" Xiao Bei asked. "Boil it and add salt," someone answered. "Roast it and brush it with salt water. Eat it raw. It's not delicious." Xiao Bei and the others listened. When the children finished speaking, she said, "Don't eat it raw in the future. There will be invisible bugs that will drill into your body, drink your blood, and eat your flesh. If it's braised, you won't be able to prepare so many seasonings. I'll teach you a good way to eat it, steaming it. Put a grate in the pot and a plate on the grate. Put the cleaned carps in it and put some onions, ginger, and so on. Don't forget to add salt. Just like that, it's very fresh when steamed." "What's ginger?" a child asked. "Ah." Xiao Bei was stunned and asked, "You don't have ginger here?" Seeing the children shake their heads, Xiao Bei raised her hand and gestured. All right. We'll have it in the future. I'll get someone to ship it over after it's cultivated. These merchants are really stupid. They don't know how to ship it over to sell if they don't have ginger locally. It's probably like what brother said in the story. 2 shoe sellers ran to a place where the people there were barefoot. One felt that they couldn't sell because they didn't wear shoes. The other felt that he had struck a fortune because the people here didn't wear shoes, let alone make shoes. The locals don't eat ginger because they don't have it. It's hard to find wild ginger, let alone cultivated ones. If we get someone to send more ginger and teach the locals how to cultivate it, they'll love to eat it. Xiao Yuan added. Xiao Bei thought that they didn't have ginger, so she asked, "Where are the onions?" A child pointed to the mountain. "There are some there. There aren't many of them, but they grow in patches." "Wild." "I know. After a while, we'll get someone to send over a large amount of onion seeds and teach you how to grow them. They're sweet." Xiao Bei decided to ask around to see what they were lacking. As long as they could be planted and raised, they would make up for it. "It's spicy." A child reminded Xiao Bei that the onions weren't sweet. Xiao Bei smiled at the child who spoke. "The wild ones are spicy. If they're cultivated, according to the season and species, there are sweet ones. There are many people who eat green onions in Hunan province. That kind of green onions isn't very spicy. Of course, before you get used to it, you can't eat too much. Otherwise, you'll get sick and have a bad stomach." "Can we eat it now?" the child asked. "Yes, we brought some. We'll steam some and braise some for you." Xiao Bei agreed. He instructed someone to prepare the carp so that the locals could get used to eating it. Otherwise, if it was just mutton, many people in other parts of Great Tang couldn't eat it. They should bring it over to exchange. Dianchi Lake was so big. It would be a pity if the aquaculture industry didn't develop. After Xiao Bei made the arrangements, someone began to clean up the carp in front of the children. They nailed the cap of a soda bottle to the bamboo and scraped off the scales of the carp. The children were dumbfounded. It was too fast. So the scales could be removed like this. The carp was cut open with a knife, and the innards were taken out in an instant. One carp was finished. Xiao Bei explained, actually, you can take out the intestines from the gills. It's a little slower, and if you're not familiar with it, you can easily cut your hands. I won't show you. Don't try to learn it yourself. If you get infected, it'll be very troublesome and you'll die. The children looked scared. They didn't want to die. A child boldly pointed at the person who was cleaning up the fish and asked, Xiao Bei, is he not familiar with it? Xiao Bei laughed. Ha, if he's not familiar with it, there aren't many people in Great Tang who are familiar with it. This is the best chef in my family. Actually, he shouldn't be doing such a small job. There are other small workers. I chose him to do it so that you can eat the best delicacies. Xiao Yuan added, today, I'm not talking about eating carp. I'm talking about giving you another way to earn money. The things that are processed from the carp. There are 2 more chapters today. Occasionally, on my birthday, I'll add another chapter. Chapter 1306. Let me say it, let me say it. The moment Xiao Yuan finished speaking, Xiao Nan interrupted. The children looked at Xiao Nan again. To them, it didn't matter who said it. Xiao Nan smiled and said, you will have to study in the future. When we will leave behind 200 people to help develop the local area. We will also leave a few to teach. However, there are too many children and we can't teach all of them. We need other people from the Tang Empire to be your teachers. There is a problem. Teachers are also people and have to eat. We can't expect them to be virtuous enough to contribute for free. We have to give them money. In the past, we gave them meat, which is called tuition. If you come from a distant place and don't give them enough money, most people won't be willing to teach you. So you have to earn money yourself, by learning tools, and give the teachers a salary. Then are the children from other places in the Tang Empire the same? A little girl asked. She wanted to study, but as a girl, she knew that she had no hope unless she could solve the money problem herself. Hearing her question, Xiao Nan showed a sad expression. After thinking about it, he told the truth. Children in most places don't need to spend money, let alone earn money. They even get money when they study well. Who gives them money? The little girl asked again. Merchants, the merchants of the Tang Empire. They take out money to build schools, hire teachers, give rewards, and take care of the food and clothes for the children, Xiao Nan explained. What about us? Another child asked. Dinan continued, you don't have to earn money yourself. We will pay for all the expenses. Although we are 9, we have our own money, a lot of it. Part of the money is used for this. Not all merchants in the Tang Empire are willing to spend money on the children. If they don't pay, we will take care of it. I know you want to ask why we don't give you money, right? The children nodded. They were all from the Tang Empire and were willing to be taken care of by the Tang Empire. What was the difference? Some of the children even started to get angry, feeling that the 9 children in front of them were alienating them. Xiao Bei coughed and said, we don't give you money for your growth. Your tribe is different from the Tang Empire. It's not that you are stupid, but that you are inexperienced and can't outsmart others. There are older children. Do you remember the price you paid when you exchanged goods with them 3 years ago? Very cheap, isn't it? Then my family's caravan came over and raised the price. You realized that you were at a disadvantage before, right? Yes, they are too bad. It turns out that a caddy of monkey head mushrooms can be exchanged for so many things. They only gave us a little bit in the past. You guys are really good. You guys set the price, and then the merchants all exchanged according to this price. No one dares to use the previous price. Are they afraid of you guys? A 13 or 14-year-old boy, or perhaps a young man, angrily said a few words, and then asked the doubts in his heart. He also understood that it was impossible for a caravan to come and say the price, and all the other merchants would do as the caravan said. Especially after the caravan between the clouds and the water never came again, but the price was still the same. If the merchants suddenly became better, then why did they keep the price so low before? Xiao Bei nodded proudly. Yes, they're afraid of us. More accurately, they're afraid of my brother. My brother said that if all the merchants of Great Tang were to take out 1 out of 10 of their stocks and give it away for free, the merchants of Great Tang would have to give it away for free. They wouldn't even dare to lie about their stocks. That's what he meant. My brother wouldn't let people give things away for free. If you can immediately understand any of our ideas and think of other advantages, then all of you can enter the top ranking of the richest people. So, you have to learn as you do. Other than the things in the water, there are also all kinds of mushrooms and mountain vegetables in the mountains. When you have time, go and pick them. Dry them in the sun or in the shade. They can all be sold for money. When you pick them, you have to be careful not to be bitten by snakes and insects. You are not allowed to enter the mountains that are too deep. Xiao Bei first comforted the other party. She admitted that the content of what she was saying now was not something the children could understand. Many adults were confused when they heard it. At the same time, Xiao Bei warned them not to let the children go deep into the mountains and forests and be eaten by wild beasts just to earn some money. The children did not know what the top ranking was. They knew that Xiao Bei and the others were better than them, so they did not understand a lot of what she said. Xiao Bei, teach us again. Let's see what else we can do. A child requested. Okay, you have to pick mushrooms and mountain vegetables in the mountains. You also have to make powder from fish scales, fish bones, and shells. You also have to sell shellfish jerky. There is no fixed price for these things between the clouds and the water. The merchants will pay according to their own ideas. I'll teach you a way so that you won't lose too much. Yes, don't lose, not take advantage of others. You won't be able to take advantage of others unless we do it ourselves. Xiao Bei did not forget to show off her skills. The children in the tribe laughed and continued to listen carefully. They had never been told this before. The way is to pretend to be children. Oh, you are children. You, yes, you. Stand up. You look cuter. Brother always says that we are cute. Xiao Bei pointed at a girl in the crowd. She looked to be around 6 or 7 years old. Like Xiao Bei, she had long eyelashes and a small face. Xiao Bei had observed her before. Her habitual expression was Wei Wei. She pouted her lips a little and stared at him curiously. It made people want to kiss her when they saw her. You're calling me. The little girl who was pointed at by Xiao Bei bit her lip and looked left and right. She lowered her head slightly, but her eyes were looking up. She was indeed cute. Chapter 1307. Take a step forward and learn from me. I'll teach you how to say it. Little Bei was very satisfied with the girl's behavior. The girl timidly took a step forward. Little Bei took out a mirror from her bag and looked at herself. Then, she said, it's like this. I take a bamboo tube of fish bone powder and go to a merchant who comes to my tribe to trade. I say, Uncle, do you want powder that can be fed to fish? I grab a handful and sprinkle it into the water. Fish eat it. Also, my chicks love to eat it more than fish. Uncle, do you have fish and chicks at home? I'm willing to give you some. You can feed them at home. They like to eat it. Can you come and buy my powder? I'll exchange it for sugar candy. See? Learn from me. Remember, you have to look up and blink your eyes when you talk to them. Don't laugh or cry. Look a little dazed. You're naturally dazed. When he gives you a price, you write it down. When other caravans come to your side, you can ask them. You can sell to whoever offers the highest price. That way, you won't lose as much. The boys in the tribe stared at Little Bay, their eyes shining. They did not know if the deal would work, but they knew that Little Bay was very cute. Little Bay, you're acting cute, Little Yuan said. I'm selling powder, okay? This is the only advantage a child has. If I don't take advantage of it, I'll be letting myself down, Little Bay retorted. A's son looked at Little Bay and wanted to invite her to stay in the village, but he recalled his father's words and did not dare to say it. Instead, he asked, Little Bay, do you usually do business like this? I don't. Do I need to act cute? Little Bay curled her lips. If I were to sell local specialties, would directly tell the merchant that you give me a price and come up with a detailed sales plan. What will you use to ensure sales volume? How will you stabilize the loyalty of the buyer group? Also, how much profit do you pursue? What percentage of advertising investment are you willing to provide? How is it different? A's son asked. Because I'm Zhang Xiaobei. With the 9 of us combined, our marketing wisdom is stronger than the merchants who come. At the same time, we have more resources to use. Do you understand? If you want others to respect you, you have to become strong first. The more you know about a certain industry, the less people in the same industry dare to bully you. We no longer need to rely on our identities as brothers and sisters. We can sit on equal footing with ordinary merchants, and if we add on our status as Great Tang Patrol emissaries, we can mobilize many resources. For example, in the war between the Tang Empire and Duoshi this time, through the Candy House chain of partners, it is convenient for us to support the war indirectly. Our words determine the direction of millions of strings of money. This was why they were allowed to earn their own money. The children in the capital enjoyed the funds provided by the merchants to study. Not only did they not accept the charity of others, but they also formed a kind of charity to the merchants who took the money. Everyone fought to give them money. It's because of where they are, as well as their knowledge and status. If you need merchants to invest here, you're purely accepting charity. I hope that you can be more self-reliant. Of course, I will also give you help, not charity. Xiao Bei explained. It could be said that his words were heartfelt and earnest. After that, she took out a stack of money from her bag, counted out 100 notes, and handed them to the tribe leader, A's son. Take this, 10,000 strings of coins. Each note is 100 strings of coins. The purchasing power, oh, how many things can you buy with this? Just take one note and buy enough salt from the merchants to feed your entire tribe for 3 years, and it's the kind of salt that you eat with all your might under the circumstances of a 9-fold difference. If you want to use it all to buy salt, your tribe can eat for 300 years. This money is for you. When the tribe is in trouble and needs money, you can use it, but you are not allowed to use it to buy luxury goods. If I find out who bought luxury goods, I will make him lose his life. Our money is not so easy to cheat. Xiao Bei first introduced the purchasing power and then threatened. The children in the tribe had no concept of buying other things, but when it came to salt, it was much more intuitive. The stack of money in front of them could buy the salt that the tribe ate for 300 years. Kwa Nemo, A's son, looked nervously at the other 8 people, afraid that the 8 of them would ask for all the money back. 300 years of salt was really scary. After a while, he took out another note in embarrassment and handed the others to Xiao Bei. 1 is enough. Give us all the money. You have no money to use. Ha! Xiao Bei laughed. Give you all our money. Do you know how much money we have? The money we earn in a day is twice as much as what you have. Money is just a number to us now. If we use a part of this number to improve the lives of others, we will be happy. We don't care about money. We only care about how others use it. Why do you think we need a lot of money? We eat and wear at home. Our family has more money than us. What we are worried about now is how to spend it, not how to save it in the bank to earn interest. Xiao Yuan and the others nodded. They indeed had so much money that they had nowhere to spend it. Every time they took out a sum of money to spend on the Tang dynasty's children's welfare, they would earn more. The main reason was that the brand of the Precious Candy House chain was too strong. The children of the rich would definitely choose to spend money at Precious Candy House. Even the adults liked to play at Precious Candy House's amusement park. Quan Mo, A's son, couldn't believe it. His voice trembled as he said, "With money, you have power. You also know about power. Power is not obtained by money. It is given by the people. Power itself has no value. Its value is reflected in how much benefits the person who enjoys the power can bring to the person who gave it to him. Even if we don't have money, we still have power because the people trust us. Power is invisible. Whether it is abused or not depends on who the power holder uses the power on. Forget it, you won't understand even if I tell you. Many people forget the root of power. Every time they seek benefits for themselves, it's a blasphemy against power. What's dirty is not only the transaction of power, but also their soul. When they die, they definitely won't be able to close their eyes." Xiao Bei said a lot and shook his head. He felt that it was impossible to communicate with ordinary children. Quan Mo, A's son, really didn't understand, but he knew that he had money now. He could buy salt for the tribe to eat for 300 years. He considered whether to buy more and save it for later use. Xiao Hai seemed to see through the other party's plan and hurriedly said, "Don't buy salt. There will be salt soon. It won't cost you money. Eat as much as you want. If you can't think of how to spend it, keep it. There's no need to be afraid of depreciation. This is because after productivity increases, the depreciation of money is on luxury goods and medium-sized products, not low-end goods that are affected by productivity." I've said too much again. Anyway, you just need to know that this money is very useful. If you don't make money from selling things, use it to pay for your learning equipment and the cost of hiring teachers. Quan Mo, A's son, clenched the money tightly. His eyes reddened as he asked, "Why are you so good to us?" "Because you admit that you are from the Tang Empire. We have always treated our own people well. If it were a child from Japan or a child from Xinlua, I wouldn't care if they died," Xiao Bei said in a very domineering manner. After thinking for a while, he said, "Actually, the children in Japan and Xinlua are not bad either. They were invited to the capital, including their families. Back then, we were the ones who suggested that the best children from the Tang Empire be chosen to come to the capital. It was a very simple purpose. In the end, my brother and sister found out and came up with a series of plans. Sigh. We are still too far away from them. Every time we feel that we are powerful, my brother and sister will use the actual situation to let us understand that we are still very ignorant. Yes, ignorant. The children in the tribe were speechless. Xiao Bei, are your brother and sister much more powerful than you? Quan Mo's son asked. Generally. You don't understand at all how difficult the negotiations between us and them were. When we tried our best to think of something to take advantage of them, they easily offset it. This is the result of them only defending and not attacking. Otherwise, why do you think the merchants who came to trade with you listened to my family's caravan between the clouds and the water? What they are afraid of is not my family's power, but my brother's methods. Economic problems must be solved by economic means. This is called Jianghu matters end in Jianghu. This kind of confidence is the root of their fear. Are you confused again? You will understand in the future. The more you know, the more you will realize your ignorance. Xiao Bei looked very wronged. He pouted and said. The children in the tribe were also afraid. They had thought that Xiao Bei and the others were the most powerful. They had never thought that they would also be bullied. Quan Mo's son gently rubbed the money with his hand. He was still worried and asked, "We took your money. What do you need us to do? For example, tell the adults to quickly become Tang people." There's no need. Xiao Gang said bluntly, "If you don't tell the adults, we will still give you the money because you told us that you admit that you are Tang people. If you want to repay us, when you have a lot of power, remember to do good things for the people of Tang. When you have money, remember to provide a stable learning environment for the other children. Passing on the torch is the foundation of a nation and a country. What we do for you today is what you need to do for others tomorrow. When we leave, there will be a local contact station that sends telegrams to us if anything happens. Now we will teach you how to turn shells into powder. You need a mill, a fine grain mill. I will give you one and have someone make it immediately." In the mountains, Quan Mo was hunting with Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. He thought that the two of them were powerful in martial arts and knowledge, but they were not familiar with the local situation and would not be very successful in hunting. What he did not expect was that the two of them seemed to have lived near Dianqi Lake since they were young. Their footsteps and vigilance were just right. He saw with his own eyes that when Zhang Xiaobao was tracking the tracks left by the prey, he casually killed 2 hidden poisonous snakes and handed them to Wang Wan. Then, Wang Wan took care of them and put them in her backpack. They were now chasing a tiger, so there were only 3 of them. Quan Mo was very nervous. He did not expect Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan to be so bold. It was a tiger. With only 3 people, they dared to track it and even planned to hunt it. After moving forward for a while, Quan Mo could not help but say, "Xiao Bao, why don't we change it? Tigers are not easy to fight." "It's okay, Xiao Hu. I am going to catch it alive. There is a male tiger missing in the zoo. You just happened to encounter it. I will use other weapons in a while, so it is not considered a part of the competition," Zhang Xiaobao replied. Chapter 1308. The little tiger that Zhang Xiaobao was talking about was indeed a little tiger, but it didn't mean that this kind of tiger couldn't grow up. It was just that the tiger itself was small. He also knew that there were many tigers of the same species in this area, but he didn't plan to kill them. This was a national first-class protected animal at his time. He also didn't think that killing a tiger would show his heroism. The number of tigers had always been small, but because tigers were active in a wide area, it caused people to be afraid of them. When Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan came over, they brought anesthetic bullets. Wang Wan also carried an anesthetic gun on her back. When they encountered a strong animal, they would directly use the anesthetic gun to kill it. It was just hunting, not risking their lives. Quan Moa was still worried. He didn't know the function of the gun on Wang Wan's back, and it looked different from the gun she used before, so he worriedly reminded, what if the little tiger is meeting up with its family? That's impossible. We didn't hear the cries of the little tiger. At the same time, there weren't any large tiger footprints on the ground. This means that this is a lonely little male tiger. I want to find a companion for it. Isn't it cruel to lock it up in the zoo in Beijing? When Zhang Xiaobao thought about how the tiger was still alive and well, yet you had to catch it and lock it up for others to see, he felt that someone would stand up and say something about animal protection. However, Zhang Xiaobao chose the wrong person. When Quan Moa heard Zhang Xiaobao's words, he was puzzled. Cruel. Are we going to feed it directly when we put it in a zoo? Yes, it's not good to let it come out and find its own food. What if it eats people? As long as we catch it, it won't be able to come out of the cage. Zhang Xiaobao squatted down and carefully observed the grass under his feet. Isn't that good? It doesn't have to work hard to catch prey. It can eat and sleep when it wants. It's already good that we didn't kill it, but we still feed it meat. Life is really good. Quan Moa suddenly felt that if he became a tiger and was caught, he would have food and drink. His life would be very good. Zhang Xiaobao felt that he couldn't communicate with Quan Moa. Freedom. No one would want to be locked up in a cage. He would rather live a poor life than be unable to leave the cage and be surrounded by people at the same time. Wang Wan chuckled and said, "Don't worry about what the tiger thinks. Let's catch it first, catch it, and then go back." The children who often go to the zoo say that one less tiger is not extinct. Only those who have nothing to do will consider the feelings of the tiger. People are tired of living. Why should we care about the tiger if we don't care about the people? That makes sense. Maybe it's because they want to flaunt their kindness and find a bunch of excuses to overthrow the nature of the world's law of the jungle. If everyone was really so kind, the world would be at peace long ago, and no one in Africa would starve to death. Anyway, I'll eat whatever I want, even if it's a panda, as long as I have the money. As for what other people think, I don't care. I always feel that this so-called kindness to animals is hypocritical. This kind of person is only using animals to show their kindness. In fact, they don't even think about their own kind from the perspective of kindness. Is that so? Zhang Xiaobao lowered his head and carefully sniffed the smell of a pile of feces. He nodded and changed direction to chase. Quan Moa felt disgusted. He didn't expect that this person, who had absolute status in the Tang Empire, would actually do something like sniffing other people's feces. He resisted the urge to vomit and followed Zhang Xiaobao. When Wang Wan passed by the feces, she also bent down to smell it and got up to chase. She didn't care about being disgusted. She was a tyrant flower. In some ways, she was the same kind of person as Xiaobao. In her eyes, there were only tasks and goals, and there was no sense of self. So what if she smelled tiger feces? If there was a need, so what if she tasted human feces? At least she could make a simple judgment whether the other party had diabetes or not. At that moment, she was just a tool. It wasn't like she hadn't practiced sneaking in feces before. What was wrong with that? In the pursuit of life, other than being alive, everything else was empty. This little tiger is quite cautious, changing directions back and forth. Where is its home? We have to reach it before the animal activists find it, catch it successfully, and move it immediately. Zhang Xiaobao was tired of chasing and said funny things to relax. Wang Wan also wiped the sweat on her forehead. As long as there is an attribution in front of the activists, then it is hypocritical. Animals are protected, so why can't plants be protected? This is a very interesting situation. For plants, animal activists feel that they can eat as much as they want, but they don't protect the animals that need protection the most, humans, because they feel that humans are at the top of the food chain. According to this, are carnivores at the top of vegetarian animals? Will they attack carnivores in order to protect herbivores? No, because they feel that this is natural elimination. The basic theory is reflected in the fact that animals are not as smart as humans, but are plants smarter than animals? Are the lives of plants not lives? Therefore, their kindness is selective. Isn't that so? People say that they can be killed but not abused. As a human, it is better to live a bad life than to die a good death. Tell me, to a person who has committed a death sentence, what would he choose if he were to be whipped every day but not killed, or directly killed and not whipped? I am not saying that I don't want to protect animals. If they are rare, then I will protect them. The purpose is different. They protect animals because they think that they are animals and feel pity for them. I protect animals because I want to let these animals live so that the people of Tang Empire can recognize them and see them with their own eyes. Therefore, animal activists are hypocrites who flaunt their sincerity. They are narrow-minded people who show their love for humanity. The best way to describe them is that they have nothing better to do. Zhang Xiaobao also said. Quan Amo looked at Zhang Xiaobao and then at Wang Wan. She begged, can the two of you speak human language? I don't understand. Zhang Xiaobao looked at Quan Amo with a happy expression. He said to Wang Wan, look, our brother Amo understands thoroughly. Why didn't I think of this? I should say this to animal activists. Can you speak human language? I don't understand. Okay, you don't have a chance to say this. Where is the tiger? Wang Wan pitied Quan Mo. He followed the two of them. Most people would not understand the communication between the two of them. It was a connection that transcended time and space. No matter what she said, it was a kind of happiness for her to come here with Xiaobao. If it was her, even if there was a man who cherished her, would he understand if she told him that the main purpose of the aircraft carrier was to provide a landing and supply platform for planes? That was a kind of indescribable loneliness. Xiaobao, it is good to have you, Wang Wan said to Zhang Xiaobao. Quan Mo frowned. The two of you can still say such mushy things at this time. It is good to have you. Zhang Xiaobao held the binoculars and replied, because you have the anesthetic gun on your back. Look through the binoculars. On the left, about 20 degrees, which is the direction of 10 o'clock, there is a beautiful little tiger. It is looking at me. Quick, take the gun down and climb up the tree. I hope it does not practice this skill. Who said that tigers can't climb trees? That is because the big tiger is too heavy. The small one can climb up. Choose a place. I will cover. You prepare to shoot. We need a bait. What should we do? Don't look at me. I am not going to rush over. Quan Mo finally understood Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's words at the critical moment. Okay. Let me observe first to see if it is full. I hope it is hungry so that it will be interested in us. I can't tell. Let me calculate. Cuckoo, you go forward first. If the tiger runs over, you run to me. I will support you up the tree behind. If it does not come over, you first occupy the commanding position. I will follow and send you to the tree 30 meters in front. I will continue to move forward and lure it over. Zhang Xiaobao analyzed and said to Wang Wan. Wang Wan immediately picked up the gun and walked forward. At the same time, she observed her feet. She did not want to be tripped while running. This kind of low-level mistake would lose face for Ba Wang Flower. Even if she knew that she would fall, Xiaobao could make her not be in a dangerous situation. What about me? Quan Mo asked anxiously. Xiao Bao did not seem to mention what she should do. You go up the tree first. I will give you a binoculars to play with. Remember to return it to me later. You are not qualified to have it. Zhang Xiaobao handed over his binoculars. Quan Mo excitedly received it and looked at Zhang Xiaobao worriedly and asked, What about you? Go up quickly. Do you still need binoculars more than 300 meters? Before, I was looking for the target. Now that the target has been determined, how can I not keep an eye on it from 300 meters away? How can other people snipe from 800 meters to 1000 meters without a scope? Zhang Xiaobao urged. He took out a tri-edged thorn and approached Wang Wan. Wang Wan had already climbed up and squatted at a height of more than 4 meters. She used a tree branch to block herself and held the tranquilizer gun horizontally. Zhang Xiaobao came to the tree where Wang Wan was and threw away all the tri-edged thorns except for the one in his hand. Then, he began to tidy up his clothes and shoes. After thinking for a while, he took off his shirt and exposed his upper body. He moved his arms and made 2 small jumping movements. Then, he observed the position below Wang Wan and walked towards the little tiger that had been staring at him. Every step was almost the same distance. Wang Wan, who was on the tree, licked her lips and took a deep breath. Then, she no longer paid attention to Zhang Xiaobao. She instantly entered the best sniping state. Zhang Xiaobao continued to move forward. He swung his wrist and shouted at the little tiger, Come, baby, come to brother. When the tiger heard the call, or rather, the provocation, it got up and ran towards Zhang Xiaobao. Zhang Xiaobao turned around and narrowed his eyes. He stared at the little tiger and estimated the distance between the tiger's speed and the tree that Wang Wan was at. He also estimated the distance between his speed and the tree that Wang Wan was at. When the tiger was 150 meters away from Zhang Xiaobao turned around and ran. He took 20 steps and jumped, flying below Wang Wan. He grabbed the tree branch beside him with one hand and played with the tri-edged thorn with the other hand. Then, bang! Wang Wan fired. Over. That's a tranquilizer gun, not an anti-material sniper rifle. It's still running. Fuck, it's really pouncing. Go down, go down. Yes, brother, you can't. If you come up from this height, I'll stab you. Just as Zhang Xiaobao said a few words, the little tiger had already come over. It jumped and wanted to bite him. Zhang Xiaobao gently poked its nose with the tri-edged thorn. It howled and tilted its head and fell down. If they have time, they can come back if they want to. It's not forcing them. You can rest assured that Cuckoo and I will never do anything to harm you. You won't understand even if I tell you. In any case, we are family. Zhang Xiaobao gave his promise to Quan Mo. Quan Mo truly couldn't understand. They clearly had powerful martial strength, but they were still negotiating with him. He had the same weapon, and he had long ago conquered the people with the surname Meng and the 6 Xiao. And it seemed that Xiao Bao and Cuckoo weren't stupid. Why did they treat him like this? Unable to figure it out, Quan Mo decided not to think about it anymore and promised, okay, when my king comes, I'll persuade him. Okay, this time I'll give you 5 spears and a handgun, 1,000 bullets for the spear and 30 bullets for the handgun. We'll train you for a few days, and the bullets will be on us. As for the small cannon, I won't give it to you. It's not easy to use it, and it'll be bad if it explodes. Consider it a benefit for you. Zhang Xiaobao mentioned the matter of weapons. This was something that Quan Mo really wanted, but he didn't mention it before. If it were him, he felt that he wouldn't have agreed. He didn't expect Xiao Bao to be so easy to talk to. He didn't even ask for it and already gave it to him. Considering that he would have weapons to protect his tribe in the future, Quan Mo was happy at first, but then he asked Zhang Xiaobao suspiciously, "Aren't you afraid that we'll shoot you with weapons? We're a family. If you really shoot at us, don't blame me and Cuckoo for being ruthless," Zhang Xiaobao said frankly. "I'm just asking. We're a family." Quan Mo was relieved. He believed that he would get the weapons, not Xiao Bao's casual words. Wang Wan suggested, "Xiao Bao, let's give them some money. Give them a few thousand strings of coins, enough for them to buy things with merchants, such as advanced farming tools. I see that their plows are all made of wood." "No, Xiao Bei and the others will definitely give it to us. I know the little guys too well. They never run out of money. They always find a reason to give it to others and use it on their children. Fortunately, our education didn't fail. They only care about the children of the Tang Empire. They don't care about the children of other countries." When Zhang Xiaobao talked about his younger siblings, the smile on his face became brighter. The corners of Wang Wan's mouth also curled up. Every time she thought of her younger siblings, she felt very happy. Quan Mo also liked Xiao Bei and the others very much. At a glance, he felt that they were better than other children. Moreover, they were also good-looking. He hoped that when he had children in the future, they would be like Xiao Bei and the others. So he asked, "Xiao Bao, are the children taught in the Tang Empire the same as Xiao Bei and the others? Do they have money?" "Ah. Same. Do you know how much effort Cuckoo and I put into their education? If I used this energy to make money, I could sell half of the land in the Tang Empire. Speaking of which, others can also teach well, but it's too difficult. If they're not their own children, who would be willing to teach them like this? As for money, they have their own businesses. In fact, it's all managed by the inner courtyard of the family. They just came up with ideas, but Cuckoo and I support them. They get less than 6 million strings of coins a year, and more in the future. They use about 2 million strings of coins. Of which, more than 700,000 strings of coins are used in children's medical research. This is really expensive, so they have to invest in it themselves. But in the future, the money spent will increase. We can't always let businessmen pay for all the school fees. In the past, there was no way, but now we have free hands." When it came to education, Zhang Xiaobao was still very conceited. He and Wang Wan taught their younger siblings with knowledge that was beyond this era, and the results were quite good. Quan Mo was not most concerned about education, but money. He was not like his son, who did not know much about the Tang Empire's money. He knew how many things could be bought with the Tang Empire's money. When he found out that the 9 children could earn millions of strings of coins a year, he even had the thought of robbing them. Even if he only robbed half of the money they earned every year, it was enough for the people in the tribe to enjoy for several lifetimes. "You don't want their money?" Quan Mo did not understand. It wasn't easy for them to find a way to make money. "How can we take it and use it? In fact, they put the money in the bank, and I use it. Besides, the family doesn't lack their money," Zhang Xiaobao said with a smile. "That money? How much money do you have?" Quan Mo was even more surprised. "Not much. It's a little less than the Tang Empire's national treasury, and we spend a lot of it. We put it into disaster relief and research, and we have to pay for the dam and artificial canal in Dianqi Lake. When His Majesty sees where we go, he will never give us a penny for construction costs. It's sad to say." Zhang Xiaobao said casually, not forgetting to complain. I'm sad too. Quan Mo followed. He finally knew what the words rich enough to rival a country meant. According to this, the little guys really did not have much money. He had the idea of kidnapping Xiao Bao and Cuckoo again. The three of them talked as they walked. Time passed quickly. When they arrived at the place they had discussed, the others had not returned yet. Instead, King Tsuangue was waiting there. Quan Mo was surprised again. He put down the tiger that had opened its eyes and ran to King Tsuangue. He asked, King, you came so quickly. I received the news as soon as Xiao Bao and Cuckoo arrived here. I only met the people you sent when I was almost there. The world is changing, King Tsuangue said weakly. He was different from the locals. He had lived in the capital for a while and knew the strength of Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan too well. How could he not come in person? When Zhang Xiaobao heard King Tsuangue's words, he knew that the other party did not want to surrender to the Tang Empire. He was the king here. If he really surrendered, his status would decline. But Zhang Xiaobao would not make any concessions or compromises for the other party alone. Zhang Xiaobao cupped his hands and bowed. Bohai Provincial Governor greets King Tsuangue. Wang Wan followed. Bohai Deputy Provincial Governor greets King Tsuangue. Both of them were one rank lower than King Tsuangue. King Tsuangue was a prince, rank 1. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were rank 3 as provincial governors. But the Bohai Commander-in-Chief's mansion was too big. If they were promoted by one rank, they would be rank 2. King Tsuangue nervously returned the greeting. Xiao Bao, Cuckoo. Greetings. King Tsuangue did not dare to be arrogant. The two people in front of him were not sheep. When he was in the capital, he knew that they did not greet the emperor of the Tang Empire. Who dared to be presumptuous in front of them? Other than the Minister of Works, Zhang Zhong, the great General Gao Lishur was the only one who was qualified to receive their bow. Now that he was greeted by them, King Tsuangue sighed and said, What should come will come. It's not that I want to criticize you. How is your life compared to the people in the capital? You should be a good king. Now, I want you to be independent. Are you willing? Do you want me to talk to you in the capacity of a king? Zhang Xiaobao was not polite at all and went straight to the point. He did not have time to beat around the bush. King Chuangue suddenly smiled. I've already thought about it on the way here. Living near a powerful country, even if the powerful country doesn't attack, is like living in a crevice. It's uncomfortable, but I have a request. You want me to send people to govern the place? I will discuss with you first to ensure your interests. At the same time, I will teach you more and provide you with full support, especially in terms of military power. I will not oppress you. Is that right? Zhang Xiaobao did not wait for King Tsuangue to finish and continued. Xiao Bao is indeed Xiao Bao. I have learned a lot. Everyone says that you are good at scheming. Now that I hear you, I am relieved. King Tsuangue looked at Zhang Xiaobao and bowed again. Zhang Xiaobao accepted it calmly. Wang Wan also stepped forward and accepted it. King Tsuangue smiled. Quan Moa was confused. What were they talking about? King, you. Quan Moa asked. Since Xiao Bao can speak for me, it means that his plan is better and better than mine. When it comes to building a place, I am far behind Xiao Bao. They have accepted my bow, so naturally, they will sincerely work for the Tsuangue clan. They can seize the power of the great Tang but not seize it. Why should I care about the power in name? Have you seen their weapons? You have not been to the Great Tang and have not seen how they live. With a powerful country nearby, whether my Tsuangue clan returns or not will not affect them much. But it will affect us greatly. I do not want to be attacked by them from afar. We will not have any power to resist. King Tsuangue said to Kwanmoa. Kwanmoa sighed. He had seen those weapons, but he also felt sad for his king. After all, he had to give up power and be happy for his clan. With the support of Xiao Bao and Cuckoo, their lives would be better in the future. He was very conflicted. Chapter 13:10. King Tsuangue had just met with Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan to confirm the real integration of the two into one. From the moment he agreed, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan could invest in the local area without any need to sign any contracts or documents. Verbal promises were enough. At the same time, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan also took on the responsibility of making the local people live a better life after receiving King Tsuangue's gift. At this time, people began to come back from hunting. Each group was made up of people from the Zhang Xiaobao and Wang families and the local people. They interfered with each other a little, but didn't deliberately cause trouble. The warriors in the tribe thought that they were more familiar with the terrain than the Tang people. At the same time, they knew the local trees and wild animals, so they could have a big advantage. When the competition started, they found that the opponent was also familiar with everything they were familiar with. Moreover, the opponent moved faster than them, attacked more accurately, and was more powerful. Large and small animals were carried back. The rest of the people in the tribe all came out and planned to hold a big bonfire banquet. They also contributed the local sweet wine. Zhang Xiaobao took out strong wine. When they checked the game, they found that the prey of Zhang Xiaobao and Wang families was only a dozen more than the prey of the warriors in the tribe, and the size was not much different. The only difference was the place where the wild animals were attacked. Most of the attacks by Zhang Xiaobao and Wang families were fatal. There was only a small wound on a wild boar. It was pierced directly from the neck to the heart by a tri-edged thorn, and then it bled to death. The people in the tribe were all shocked. That was a wild boar. Who killed it? Wild boars had teeth. Zhang Xiaobao looked at the wound and also had a lingering fear. He scolded Zhang Dufeng of the No. 1 protection team, who asked you to take the risk. It's just a hunt, not a hand-to-hand fight with the enemy. Is it worth risking your life? Zhang Dufeng, who was scolded, lowered his head and didn't say anything. He just rubbed one arm. Obviously, he was injured. No one knew what he did when facing the wild boar, but he was able to stab the tri-edged thorn into the wild boar's heart. The people in the tribe looked at Zhang Dufeng as if he was a hero, which made the warriors in the tribe who participated in the competition feel very sad. They already knew that if they were to fight with the other party, the chances of winning were very low. Looking at the wounds on the other party's prey, it meant that the other party was more powerful. Fan Fan jumped out to liven up the atmosphere and said, "There are quite a lot of complete skins. When they are cooked, they don't need to be processed. They can be sold directly to the rich people in prosperous areas. They will like to collect them. I'll buy them all." No one said anything, so he had to add, "Let's exchange, I'll exchange the goods I brought with you. It's all on Brother Mo's tribe. After all, I hunted in your place, and you even provided a place to barbecue. I think it's fine." Zhang Xiaobao agreed. "We don't need leather, and we don't lack the goods that Boss Fan brought. Just give us a few pieces of meat that we can't eat." Quan Mo was not pretentious. His tribe really needed things, especially now that the autumn harvest season had not yet arrived. The previous stock of food was almost used up, and it was a time of shortage. There was a great demand for goods brought by merchants. It was better than eating wild vegetables every day. Fan Fan was very happy, as if he had won the lottery. He had already thought about it. He would give a very high price in exchange for the leather and wild boar teeth. After leaving, he would go directly to the capital and hold an auction there. He would reveal the source of the leather, which represented the honor of Zhang Xiaobao and Wang family. He believed that many rich people would rush to raise the price. When the prey was put on the grill, the children of the tribe, Xiaobei, and the other 9 people also came back from the river. The children burped one by one. Obviously, they were full from eating fish. Xiaobei did not forget to remind Quan Mo, Ai's children. When spring comes next year, you go up the mountain to pick tea leaves. I will help you package them and sell them at a high price. We can't do it in China. There are too many places with tea leaves, so we have to sell them outside. People outside like to drink tea leaves. Quan Mo, Ai's son asked. It's not a matter of liking. It's that they admire the Tang Empire. If the Tang people say that this thing is good, they think it's good. For example, if I say that it's comfortable to wear, when they wear it, they will definitely agree with me. It's comfortable, especially the feeling of the rough linen on the body. It's very comfortable. Xiaobei gave an example. The children thought that others were really stupid. When they saw that there was a bonfire barbecue, they all began to regret it. They had eaten too much just now. Xiaobei and the other 9 people were happy. They only ate 1 fish together. After tasting it, they stopped and gave more fish to the local children to eat. Quan Mo, Ai's son, saw his father in the crowd and immediately ran over. He carefully took out a stack of money from his arms and handed it to his father. He said, "Dad, this money is 10,000 strings of cash. Xiaobei gave it to our children." You. When Quan Mo heard that it was 10,000 strings of cash, he reached out to grab it. He suddenly stopped and said to his son, "Since it's for you, keep it well. Don't use it recklessly. When the merchants come to buy things, tell me." Quan Mo was very jealous of the 10,000 strings of cash from the Tang Empire. He hoped that he could hold it in his hands. However, when he suddenly remembered what Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan had said in the forest just now, he felt that he was too stingy to take the money in front of others. You want money given to children by children. His son seemed to have become more sensible. He said to his father, "Dad, we want to take out a part of it first and let the knowledgeable people of the Tang Empire come over to be our teachers. We'll make some money ourselves and give it to our teachers in the future. There's no need for that. We've brought a very good teacher for you. His name is Tan Sikong. You just need to give him a place to live, make the same clothes for him, and eat the same food for him. You don't need to give him any extra money." Xiaobei thought of a person. He looked around and didn't see him. He sent someone to call him. Quan Mo showed a troubled expression. If a teacher comes to teach the children, it's not right to not give him the best things. It's right. He made a mistake. He'll be punished to teach the children. Otherwise, we'll arrange a mine for him to dig. If he dares to not teach you properly, the people left behind by my family will teach him a lesson. Xiaobei finally arranged for Tan Sikong to come down. There was no place that was more remote than this place. Tubo was better than the local area. It was just right to punish Tan Sikong. When the whole deer was roasted until it was glistening with oil, Tan Sikong was brought to the bonfire party. He seemed to be in good spirits. The clothes on his body were changed into good cloth, and his face was healthy and rosy. This showed that no one deliberately mistreated him while he was traveling with the group. Everyone gave him whatever they had. Tan Sikong already knew that he would be teaching in the local area. When he arrived, he directly went to Xiaobei and didn't look for Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. Along the way, he could tell that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were supportive of most of the decisions made by the 9 children. Since he was caught by Xiaobei and the others, they naturally had to take care of him. In the future, you have to stay and teach the local children well. 2 years. After 2 years, we'll see how the local children learn. If they learn well, you can go wherever you want. We won't restrict you anymore. Do you agree? Xiaobei seemed to be very magnanimous when he said these words. He even asked if Tan Sikong agreed. The children in the tribe immediately looked at Tan Sikong with longing. Tan Sikong laughed bitterly. Ha! I'm very happy to be able to impart my knowledge to the children here. As long as I can eat and dress well, it's fine. Nguyen, don't worry. It's spring here all year round. I believe that they will provide you with many furs to use as bedding. Most of them are sheepskin. If you want tiger furs, I don't dare. From today onwards, I won't use tiger furs anymore. Tan Sikong was very afraid when he heard the words tiger furs. Wasn't he caught because of a tiger furs? Eat the meat, drink the wine, and try the local game. Xiaobei invited. Tan Sikong looked around and hesitated. He then gathered his courage and squeezed with the people in the tribe. When he saw people, he smiled. The people in the tribe didn't treat Tan Sikong like how Xiaobei treated him. They looked at him with eyes full of respect. When he smiled, the people in the tribe also smiled and echoed his words. As for what he had done before he was caught by Xiaobei, the people in the tribe didn't care. As long as he was willing to teach his children well, it was fine. Oh, there's one more thing. Xiaobei then shouted to the people around Tan Sikong, he has the status of a high scholar. Whether it's teaching children, adults, or life matters, you can all ask him. He's quite capable. In the past few days with us, he's even read a lot of our books. High scholar. Quan Amo looked at the king beside him. When the local area developed, his contributions would not be small. There were usually a dozen people on the boat, and they all had spears. But since 2 days ago, there were 2 ships in each area. They could clearly see that there were machine guns on the ships. At the same time, they could see a patrol boat cruising by from time to time. The most puzzling thing was that there were hot air balloons flying in the sky. The people on the balloons were using binoculars to scan the sea. Occasionally, due to the height, they would find that the water in a certain area was different from other areas. They would also throw some oil paper with pencil writing on it. There were fishing boats that picked up the large schools of fish in the sea. The fishermen could follow the instructions and go fishing. It was very convenient. However, the fishermen definitely didn't think that the hot air balloons in the sky were specially sent to help them find fish. That was too extravagant. Furthermore, they could always see the people on the hot air balloons throwing floating objects into the water and then shooting them with their guns. It was obvious that they were training. The fishermen were a little nervous, but they weren't afraid. As long as the imperial court didn't stop them from fishing, it meant that the imperial court had a way to protect them. If something big really happened, they would not let them go out to sea and hide first. Today, a group of fishing boats from Fuzhou was once again guided by the people on the hot air balloons. About 10 li to the southeast, the light reflected by the water was abnormal. They could try to go and check it out. The fishermen immediately became excited. Every time they said that, there would be schools of fish. Hence, the fleet changed direction and headed in that direction. The hot air balloons also followed in the sky. Sure enough, when they reached the place, the fishermen found that there were really a lot of fish. They just casually cast their nets. Just as they were happily catching fish, a fisherman looked up at the hot air balloon and suddenly found that the balloon was becoming smaller and smaller. He hurriedly shouted, "Don't worry about the fish. It's coming down. Is there a leak? Save people." The group of fishing boats changed direction and estimated the landing point of the hot air balloon. They paddled over with all their might. When they were still more than 100 meters away, the hot air balloon finally entered the sea. After a while, 4 people's heads popped out and swam towards the fishing boats. 2 patrol boats also approached. "Brother, what's wrong?" After pulling the 4 people up, the people on the boat asked with concern. "I don't know where it leaked and fell down. Bad luck. Everything fell into the sea. When we go back, tell them to design the hoists properly. We'll be fine." A person explained helplessly. "Brother, you came here to find fish for us." Another person asked. "What fish? That's just on the way. We're looking for the boats of many people. We didn't find them anywhere else, but we suspect that they're in the Liuqiu area. That's why we have to strengthen the patrols in Chuanzhou and here. Let's not talk about it anymore. Transfer us to the guard boat. You guys continue fishing." The person on the hot air balloon wiped the seawater on his face and said gloomily. Chapter 13:12. Don't do that. The escort ship is stable. My fishing boat is not bad either. It just doesn't have a machine gun. Tell me, I won't fish anymore. The people on the boat were very curious. They felt that compared to fish, getting information was more important. After talking to the people who fell from the hot air balloon, he shouted to the others, "Everyone spread out and go fishing. Catch more fish on each boat. Bring me my share. I'll tell you the news." What greeted him was a burst of laughter and scolding. The boats dispersed one after another. One of the escort boats approached while the other continued to follow the group of fishing boats. The people on the boats were not in a hurry. There were 4 people on the hot air balloon. It was good that they were alive. They didn't feel bad if they lost their things. "Brother, drink some water. I have fresh water. You can wash your faces. My surname is Chin. My name is Chin Shihong. Others call me Ah Hong." The owner of the small fishing boat who claimed to be Chin Shihong said as he took out his water bag. "No, you can keep it. We are not that delicate. I can't tell you my name. I am airship number 576. Number 576 quickly stopped the other person from taking water. He pointed to the number embroidered on his chest and said. Chen Shihong still took the water and said, "Drink some, there is enough water. You can help us point out the fish. We can save time and have more water." "Brother, who did you say you were looking for?" "The fleet of duo cannibals. The exact number is unknown." Number 576 drank 2 mouthfuls of water and passed the water bag to the next person. "Why are duo cannibals here? Aren't they being beaten?" Chen Shihong was even more curious. "Yes, they are being beaten. So they want to catch the Tang people and threaten us." Chen Shihong suddenly realized, no wonder the Tang Empire's escort ships increased and you guys appeared. Damn duo cannibals. They can't beat us, so they only know how to scheme. Bah! Chen Shihong, who showed a disdainful expression, said angrily, "We should kill them all. They can't beat our soldiers and only know how to scheme against us fishermen." Number 576, you said they ran to Liuqiu. Will they cooperate with the local tribes on the island? Absolutely not. Number 576 said with certainty. After that, he began to take off his clothes and soak them in the sea. When the wind blew and the sun shone, there was a layer of salt on them. Soon, he was completely naked. He took the underwear from the guard ship and put it on. He looked at the hovering position of the hot air balloon with his arms bared. Chen Shihong originally thought that people who flew in the sky were all soft and delicate, but when he saw that the four of them were only wearing underwear, he realized that their skin was bright red with a hint of black. There were also pink and white streaks that turned white when he pressed them. The color of the skin must have been caused by frequent exposure to the sun and wind. As for the pink color and the white color of the daozi, those were traces left behind by injuries. You guys. Chen Shihong looked at the scars on their bodies and said, you guys have worked hard. It doesn't matter. It's a result of training. Nowadays, there are fewer and fewer injuries. It's a result of practice. Don't worry about catching your fish. We have the ability and confidence to ensure that you won't be hurt, but don't go too far on your own ship. You won't be able to spare the time to follow the ship, and it's not worth it. Wu Qi-lu comforted Chen Shihong. Chen Shihong laughed and said, I believe you. We all believe you. Before the new year, we occasionally encountered Japanese ships that were bigger than our small fishing boat. They went to various islands to rob things and fought with the local tribes. They all looked very powerful. When they encountered our small boat, we didn't let them pass, so they had to go around. Otherwise, unless they could kill all of our ships, our Tang Empire's gunboats would blow them up. We were not afraid of them at all. Sometimes, we even deliberately blocked their way. Hearing that, Wu Qi-lu didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He advised, don't always take the initiative to bully others. In fact, killing them won't work. We will investigate. Of course, we have to ask them. As long as someone says that he saw their ship, we will chase them to Japan and torture all the crew members who went out to sea within a few months. We will ask them to prove that they are not the murderer. If they can't prove it, we will count them as the murderer. Is that so? Chen Shihong really didn't know that his great Tang Empire would be so unreasonable. After thinking for a while, he said, no wonder they are afraid of us. I guess when our ship was close to them, we overturned our ship. They are more afraid than us, right? Yes, because we don't believe in this kind of coincidence. It looks like bullying, but we can guarantee that you won't be bullied. Young master and young lady only care about your own people. Wu Qi-lu smiled. Chen Shihong straightened his chest and felt very proud. It was not like when he went out to sea with his father when he was a child. He was always afraid of encountering Japanese or Xinluo ships. He was worried that he would be at a disadvantage in a fight. After being happy for a while, Chen Shihong suddenly reacted. He looked at Wu Qi-lu and asked uncertainly, You are from the Zhang family and Wang family. Young master and young lady, we are Xiao Bao and Cuckoo. Wu Qi-lu patted his forehead. It was a tacit admission. He accidentally said something wrong. Chen Shihong immediately became more affectionate. He looked at the hot air balloon floating on the sea and said, Do you need us to help you drag the balloon back? No, you see if there is anything that can be used. Cut it off yourself. Turn all the weapons and equipment into the sea. We will go back and change for new ones. You must not go down to fish. It is not worth it to sacrifice human lives. Wu Qi-lu was worried that they would dive to help fish, so he reminded them. It was dozens of meters deep. It was already difficult for people to dive down, not to mention carrying heavy weapons to float up. If one of them really died, not to mention that he would be punished when he returned, even his conscience would not be able to live with it. Chen Shihong really did have this plan before. If the national army's things fell, he should help to fish them up. After hearing what Wu Qilu said, he gave up. However, he was still very interested in the hot air balloon that did not sink. He rowed the boat over there and said, "Okay, we will divide it. You should change for a new balloon. It will be dangerous to use the old one. If you fall to your death today, I don't want to fish here in the future. I advise you to go to the island and discuss with the local tribes. Tell them that there are many cannibals here. Don't collude with them." Wu Qilu nodded first and then explained to Chen Shihong, "We have already negotiated with the people of Luqiao Island. If many cannibals really come to the island and they catch one of them, we are willing to exchange a set of glassware with them. Glass plates, glass bowls, and glass plates, a set of 16 pieces." Chen Shihong opened his mouth and tried to hold back his laughter. He swallowed 2 mouthfuls of saliva inside. Many cannibals should pray to their lord. Don't let them come to the island, and don't let them meet the people of Luqiao Island. Even I am tempted by the things you want to exchange. Chen Shihong was no longer worried this time. The native tribes of Luqiao Island were indeed much weaker than the Tang Empire in terms of military force. So after the Tang Empire showed the power of the gunboats, the chiefs of the tribes put away all kinds of thoughts of taking advantage of the Tang Empire. But the weapons of the cannibals seemed to be the same as the weapons of the tribes. If they really encountered the cannibals, they would be besieged and beaten to death. A human life was worth a set of glassware. After thinking for a while, Chen Shihong laughed and said to Wu Qilu, who was looking at him blankly, "Do the cannibals know how to use the Tang Empire's language to communicate with the chiefs of the tribes? Then they would say that they are willing to exchange things and cooperate with both sides." In the end, the locals, who they thought were very stupid, first agreed and then tricked them back to the village. They captured all of them and said to them, "You are so stupid to come here personally to give us benefits." I am dying of laughter. The people on the 2 boats also laughed. Maybe if the cannibals really came to the island, such a situation would happen. Most people would think that the people of Luqiao Island were stupid. In the past, they were indeed stupid and always suffered losses when exchanging goods. Especially in the previous dynasty, when they wanted to take advantage of others, they would turn around and capture them and bring many of them back. But now it was not like that. Now, the natives of Luqiao Island had been taught to be smart. Yes, taught. The merchants of the Tang Empire and the people sent by the imperial court patiently taught them. I couldn't figure it out in the past. Chen Shihong pointed in the direction of Luqiao Island and said, "Why didn't we seize the opportunity when we were strong?" Later, I found out that the terrain was complicated and the water was not suitable. Besides, the natives did not come to kill us. It was not worth it to spend too many resources to seize the island, right? Yes, and there is also the problem of who will occupy the island even if we seize it. Our Tang Empire's population is not enough. Otherwise, the young master would not encourage people to have children. Wu Qilu agreed. I don't understand why we need to teach them more knowledge. Chen Shihong asked. Because if we bully the other party when they are not knowledgeable and take advantage of the trade, when they know about it in the future, they will resent us. Since we don't want to destroy them, then we should integrate with them. This island is not bad. We are also planning to build a new port. In the past, people said to befriend those who are far away and attack those who are near. The young master and the young lady have divided the area around the Tang Empire. One part will be integrated, and the other part will be attacked economically. Only those who are far away will be invaded by military force. Oh, I mean support. Wu Qi-lu told Qin Shihong in detail about Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's plan. Qin Shihong laughed again. So be it if they want to invade. We are not against it. Even if we quarrel with our own family, we can just attack other countries. The people who are bullied will hate Xiaobao and Cuckoo, but I have been setting up long life tablets for them. Sometimes, when I go to the tombs, I will tell my ancestors that if someone who was killed by Xiaobao and Cuckoo turns into a ghost and comes back, I will ask the ancestors to help me get rid of them. Our Tang Empire has many people and even more ghosts. We are not afraid of foreign ghosts. The other people on the fishing boat nodded vigorously. One of them echoed, "The lives of other countries have nothing to do with me. I know that Xiaobao and Cuckoo want me to live more comfortably. Whoever dares to make things difficult for them, I will make them suffer." Okay, now they are fighting duo sure. I don't see you going over to help. You make it sound nice. Qin Shihong looked at the person who spoke with disdain. How can I help? Even if I go over to fight, they won't let me. Don't scold me, how can you help? This person's face, which was already red from the sea breeze, became even redder. You are just a helper. How dare you shout at me? Who said I didn't help? I donated half of the fish that you and Dick caught last time. What did you do? Qin Shihong asked righteously. This person was speechless. Number 576 asked, who did you donate to? Young master and young lady did not ask for donations. We have enough money. Moreover, the two of them said that if it is not a battle of life and death, they do not need the people to contribute money. If there is a day when everyone in the Tang Empire is asked to contribute money and effort, then it will be a battle of national fate. If we lose, the country will be destroyed. If you want to donate, you can donate to other areas. It is not mandatory. You should consider your own life first. When the time comes, you will be given a certain amount of tax. No need. I donated to the government in Fuzhou. I sent the fish directly. Qin Shihong began to worry about his own things. Number 576 looked at the people on the guard ship. Immediately, someone began to send a report, asking where Qin Shihong's donated fish went. The people on the two ships fell silent. Qin Shihong approached the hot air balloon and began to cut the oilcloth on it with a knife. He also lifted the basket and placed it on the ship. As expected, it was empty. The things inside were turned over into the sea. After waiting for almost an hour, there was a reply. Number 576 took over the translated content and said to Qin Shihong, they admitted to receiving your fish. The grandson of Fuzhou's provincial governor, Wang Haoji, Guizhou Qing, ate 43 fish, one for each table, braised in soy sauce. The rest were made into dried fish and sent to Darling Candy House. Darling Candy House has confirmed the amount. Now, Wang Haoji has sent a telegram of apology to the capital. What do you have to say? Qin Shihong was stunned. It sounded very complicated. The fish he donated were used for war. He did not expect that some of them were eaten and sent to another place. He felt very uncomfortable. Brother Qin, Darling Candy House belongs to Xiaobei and the others. The ship worker who spoke earlier nudged Qin Shihong and reminded him. Yes, it belongs to Xiaobei and Xiaoyuan. What's there to say? So be it. If the little ancestors can eat the fish I sent, I will be even happier. Qin Shihong just remembered why Darling Candy House sounded so familiar. What about the other 43 fish that were eaten? Number 576 asked. 43 fish that were eaten. So what if they were eaten? What else can I do? Qin Shihong thought that 43 fish was not a lot, so he did not think much of it. Testify. Tell us who the fish are for and we will deal with it. How? Let someone else take care of Fuzhou first. Wang Haoji will go to the capital for a joint trial by the Ministry of Justice, the Supreme Court, and the Censorate. Joint trial by the 3 courts. 43 fish. Forget it. If this really goes, even if Provincial Governor Wang doesn't die, he will lose a layer of skin. It's very serious, right? Yes, if our Xiaobei and the others follow any of them, Wang Haoji will directly send an edict. Moreover, his crime immediately increase by 5 levels, right? Don't be like this. Provincial Governor Wang Haoji is really not bad. He specially built a large pool behind the yamen where his family lives and filled it with seawater. When the fish that we send back are not dead, he will let people throw them into the pool and sell them for a better price. He will use the money earned from the difference to hire local craftsmen to repair our fishing boats every time we send them back. If there is a surplus, he will contact the local workshop to buy hemp thread to weave a net. Then, he will give us the number of live fish that we provide. If he was taken away, would the next provincial governor copy him and do the same thing? It's just 43 fish. If I knew that his grandson is 1 year old, would have given him 100 fish. Chen Shihong started to plead for mercy. The other crew members on the boat also became nervous. They did not expect that a donation of fish, where only 43 fish were eaten, would be so easy to deal with a provincial governor. No wonder the officials of Great Tang were so afraid of the Zhang family and the Wang family. They would be injured if they met them, and they would definitely die if they met them. Xiaobei and the others are really too lethal. A crew member sighed. Number 576 did not have much to say about this. Of course, it was very dangerous to be targeted by the little ancestors. They were specially used to deal with those officials who had facts but no evidence. Because the evidence could be destroyed, but the truth was clear in everyone's heart. Judging an official based on evidence was a small crime, and the people would not be convinced. The little ancestors could make up for this. No matter how small the crime was, adding 5 levels was enough. As for privileges, some people would use their privileges for themselves, while others would use them for the sake of the common people. The privilege of benefiting the common people was not a privilege, but a privilege that was above the law. The law that was above the law referred to the truly fair and reasonable law. It referred to the law that the enforcers could not make any mistakes in enforcing the law. It was not the law that those who profited in the name of the law spoke of. Since someone could use the law for personal gain, why couldn't someone use the law for public gain? Number 576 knew that some old scholars were disgusted with the privilege of Xiaobei and the others, but he felt that it was right. Of course, he did not catch the people who were against it. The small group of people were just privately criticizing in a small circle. If they felt that they were right, they could stand on the street and shout, and see what the consequences would be. No. 576 showed a smile and said to the people on the guard boat, "Generator, Wang Haoji's crime is small, but his merit is big. In this year's assessment, his crime will be reduced by 1 level, and his merit will be increased by 2 levels. The most excellent will be the top." The people on the fishing boat were happy, but the people on the guard boat looked at him and did not do anything. Number 576 was stunned for a moment, and then he remembered something. He found a small piece of cloth from the clothes he took off and showed it to the people on the other side. The people on the 2 boats looked at it together. There was only one pattern on the cloth, a very cute cartoon. It was a rice seedling with long legs and a big head. The rice seedling pointed a gun at his head with one hand, and held a pigeon with the word "secret" written on it with the other hand. Chen Shihong's eyes widened instantly. San. Sanshui County's Zhang Wang and Sanshui County spy. As expected, you are everywhere. Good, with you here, we will be more at ease. Let's see who dares to deceive us. One of Qin Shi Hong's crew members also said happily, but I heard that in the previous dynasties, this kind of people were bad people. Why didn't I find that the spy of the Tang dynasty Xiao Bao and Cuckoo family was bad? It's just that this picture makes people sad. Why did he point the gun at himself? For you, there is nothing to keep secret. Let him see what you have, number 576 said to the person next to the telegraph machine. The person took out a gun and a grenade and said, "The gun is for suicide, and the grenade is for blowing up the radio. If I am surrounded by the enemy and can't run away after blowing up the radio, I will kill myself." After that, he followed number 576's request to generate electricity. The people on the fishing boat listened to the ticking sound, and for a moment, they were excited. It turned out that their stable life was protected by someone in the dark with their life. When the sound of the telegram stopped, Qin Shi Hong said, "I have an idea that can let the Tang dynasty get more things in the sea, and also provide direct help to the guards." Chapter 13:13. Number 576 looked at Qin Shi Hong and nodded, "Please go ahead." Qin Shi Hong took a deep breath and said as if he was reporting, "I found that there are many boats that can be used for both sail and oar. They are 6 to 7 times bigger than my fishing boat. They are too small for the ocean, too slow for transporting goods, and even more laborious for catching fish. They are like chicken ribs. Am I right?" "Yes, there are. They have been thrown in remote places at the docks. Some are even used as temporary warehouses. Do you want to buy them to fish?" Number 576 asked. Qin Shi Hong shook his head hard. "No, if I have the money to buy that boat, I would rather rent a steam engine boat with a trawl behind it. But I can't afford it. I don't have the wood and coal to burn. I have to go far away to catch big fish and fish that can't be found in the coastal waters. I want to let that kind of boat follow our small fishing boat. When we catch fish, we send them to the big boat. Look, like the school of fish we encountered now, the small boat will be filled very quickly. For the school of fish, there is no reduction at all. If there is a school of fish that is not fast enough to catch fish, but with the help of a big boat, we can bring back more fish, right? Whether it is rowing or sailing, it requires manpower." A person on the guard boat interrupted. Qin Shi Hong smiled at the person. "Yes, it needs people to do it. But comparing the gains and losses, it is worth it. They only need to row or sail, they don't need to know how to fish. That boat is not suitable for fishing either. It is neither big nor small, and it can't carry a trawl. Even if it is given to me, I will not catch fish, but transport. This brother, you only think of people and not skills. I can row and sail, but my main skill is fishing. There is also the fishing team over there. They also have the ability to catch fish. But generally speaking, we waste time on the way to and back. When the boat is full, even if there is fish, we can only watch. For example, this time, we took a day and a half to come here, and another day and a half to go back. If we were not instructed and found the school of fish immediately, we would need more than half a day to fill the boat. Now that we found the school of fish, we can fill the boat with fish in 2 hours. What a pity. If we have a big boat, we can chase after the school of fish. How many fish can we catch in 10 to 10 hours? When Qin Shi Hong said this, everyone began to ponder. Just as he mentioned, it would take 3 days to go back and forth, and it would take half a day to fill the boat, which was too inefficient. If it was near the sea, Xiao Bao and Cuckoo were not allowed to set up nets. They could only do artificial farming and fishing, or as a tourist attraction, throw a few spinning nets on the boat to show the tourists. However, it was absolutely impossible for large-scale fishing fleets to sweep the area, or for steam-engine ships to traverse the area with trawling nets. Therefore, everyone had to be a long distance away from the coastline before they could enter the fishing area. If it had been someone else who had requested this, no one would have bothered. However, since it was Xiao Bao and Cuckoo, they naturally had to obey. There had to be a very important reason. I'm willing to provide you with an interest-free loan so that you can buy a few of those useless boats. Number 57 felt that Qin Shi Hong's words were very reasonable. He could use some of the resources himself. Although it was not much, it was definitely not a problem to buy a few boats. As an intelligence officer, he understood that the main family's tax income decreased this year. It seemed that the main reason was that the main income had decreased. In fact, the real reason was that a large part of the funds had been used in the spy system, including the resources that each spy could control. There was also a large amount of overseas expenditure, which was directly deducted by the main family. However, the official account that would not be included in the tax collection could not be restricted by the little young master at all. Even if the cost accounting account book was handed over, the little young master could still get the money, and it would not be detected in the account book or theoretical deduction. The little young master would always have a way to deduct this part of the money, and at the same time, make others feel that it was normal. This was because the Ministry of Revenue could not audit all the transactions of the Zhang family and Wang family. Even if a dynamic rolling method was used to calculate, there would still be loopholes. Moreover, the main family's transactions were truly too many, including the direct withdrawal of shares and dividends and reinvestment. In addition, there was also the pricing of special goods, the benefits given to the officials in the capital, the high salary and the expenses of the plan to raise honest officials in the areas controlled by the Zhang family and Wang family, the regions where the goods were produced during disaster relief, and the cost of transportation. There were also other aspects and so on. Even if the officials of the Ministry of Revenue were exhausted to death, they would not be able to find out. Even if the Great Tang Bank was not under the little young master's control and was directly handed over to the Ministry of Revenue, they would still be confused. The main family had too many subsidiaries, and they were in contact with each other and competed with each other. If the price fluctuated slightly, even if it followed the fluctuation of the price of the same industry at that time to calculate the profit and the stop-loss point, it was still impossible to avoid the existence of artificial factors. This was the asymmetrical factor that the little young master spoke of between the theory of capital operation and the actual control of it, unless one could know the hearts of everyone who actively and passively entered the capital operation link. Number 576 felt that he could not in this lifetime, so he thought that anyone who said that the income of the Zhang family and Wang family had decreased in recent years and was happy about it were all fucking idiots. Playing with the little young master, they were far from being able to do so. While he was thinking, Qin Shi Hong and the others were also thinking that this spy seemed to have a bit of power. Not only could he influence the annual examination of the officials, he could also provide loans, the kind that had no interest. Qin Shi Hong could not feel any envy or jealousy towards number 576. Xiao Bao and Cuckoo had always been very strict in the selection of personnel. First of all, they had to have a heart that was loyal to the Great Tang in any situation, and loyalty to the Zhang family and Wang family was secondary. But the more this was the case, the more loyal everyone was to Xiao Bao and Cuckoo. They even felt that the Great Tang with Xiao Bao and Cuckoo was the real Great Tang. After that, they had to undergo the screening of intelligence training, physical fitness, and combat awareness. Only then could they enter the next round of examination. After layers of examination, the people who stayed were definitely the elites of the elites. This could be seen from the wounds on his body and the charm of his personality in his speech that he had put in a lot of effort. Chen Shihong did not think that he could go through this process and persist, so he looked at number 576 again and found that he was still as calm as before. If I were your enemy, Chen Shihong suddenly muttered, and even made an attacking posture to test the waters. Then you would already be dead. Number 576 put his hand on the spinal cord behind Chen Shihong's neck and said with a smile. Chen Shihong trembled. He felt that there was a sharp object touching his skin. Is it a needle? The kind that is used to insert the spinal cord. I read in the newspaper that it is easy to dislocate the spinal cord if there is always a hand patting the neck of the child. If there is something inserted, the child will lose consciousness in a very short time. After saying this, Chen Shihong stared at him and said, Take your hand away. I admit that you are strong, but I am not afraid of you. I will tell Xiao Bao and Cuckoo. Number 576 smiled and retracted his hand. I just want to let you know what is going on. I know. I was wondering why I felt so relieved. It is because we are on the same team. The stronger you are, the more relieved I am. I am serious with you. I don't want to take a loan. I think that the hot air balloon is very useful. Let's cooperate. The cost of the hot air balloon is very high. Number 576 reminded him. Is it as high as the life of the fishermen of Tang Empire? Chen Shihong asked. You are arguing. If there is no young master and young lady, who do you think is higher between the life of the fully equipped hot air balloon and your life? Number 576 said that others were arguing, so he followed suit. When Chen Shihong thought of this, his face changed. He immediately reacted and said, Are you trying to scare me? You can't do without them. Without Xiao Bao and Cuckoo, there would be no hot air balloon. Who do you think is higher? Then he said, I am not going to buy a boat. It is not good to take a loan. I advise you to form a team. There are hot air balloons flying in the sky. They will not follow us. Will you not train? When we go out to sea, our small boat will follow the big boat. You will help to look for fish in the sky. You can see far. Otherwise, we used to look for seabirds. When you find fish, tell us. We will go and catch them. We will directly load the big boat. Look at their boats, they are just hollowed out pieces of wood, and they row inside. When I see their boats, I feel sorry for the wood. Those are all good wood, and it is a waste to hollowed out pieces of wood to make boats. They don't dare to send their bamboo and wooden rafts far away from the sea. If you give them boats, they will like it. When Chen Shihong talked about the situation on the island, he showed a sad expression, as if the wood used by the other party was from his family. Number 576's eyes lit up. After thinking for a while, he felt that it was feasible. The people on Luqiao Island had their own social survival rules, but they did not cut off contact with the outside world. In the past, the people here always wanted to take advantage of others. Naturally, the chief of the tribe on the island was not willing to let them. So, he was beaten when he objected. Fortunately, the climate on the island was different from here. Otherwise, they would have been wiped out by the people of the previous dynasty. Of course, it had something to do with the rulers of the previous dynasty. The people in Fuzhou were not easy to control. In the end, they could not find people who could adapt to the environment, let alone form Lu Zhou's wolf army. If you went there, the mountain people would not pay attention to you. Now, there was a large amount of goods to exchange. Moreover, the value of the local tribes was not at a disadvantage. However, not all tribes were friendly to Tang. They were beaten by Tang before, and they were still holding a grudge. At the same time, they were also on guard. According to Chen Shihong, it would not only solve the problem of human resources, but it would also further promote the communication with the natives on the island. Some of the tribes who cooperated with Tang dynasty would become rich first, and the other tribes would be tempted. In the end, when all the tribes cooperated, they could also bring the people of the tribes to Tang for a tour, and the Tang people would travel to their island for a tour. They would divide the land for construction and hire the people of the tribes to work. After a series of operations, they would not need to use force to get the island. They would build a port, and the territory would be extended out, making it convenient for more ships to go to the island. The more number 576 thought about it, the more he felt it made sense. He praised, "Good idea. I'll report it. If it's approved, I'll give you a reward. Maybe I'll give you a steam engine ship." Really? Chen Shihong clapped his hands happily. He knew the other party would not be greedy. At the same time, he did not expect number 576 to give such a good evaluation. He did not even dare to dream that an idea could be exchanged for a ship. It's true. Your idea not only solves the problem of manpower, but also puts the idle ships to use. Tools can only show their value when they are used. More importantly, your idea can quickly reduce the gap between us and the tribes on Liuqiu Island. My idea of a steam engine ship is conservative. The people above will review it and give you a reward according to the value of the idea. They will also add a little extra to encourage you to continue to think of ideas. Then they will put it in the newspaper, and you will become famous. While number 576 was talking, he signaled the people on the guard ship to report it. First, he would simply send the idea back, so that the other side could be prepared. When he went back, he would repeat it in detail. Chen Shihong was grinning from ear to ear as he listened. He nodded and said, "I know. I am the horsebone of the horsebone in the 1,000 gold market. Even if you don't give me a reward, I am willing to give you ideas. It is a way to show my value. I, a fisherman, can help the Tang Empire. I have not lived in vain." "I don't think you are a fisherman. You are more like a researcher in charge of practical plans. You know a lot." Number 576 said sincerely. Chen Shihong continued to laugh. Ha ha, I know a lot because I read a lot of books. When I am not fishing, I go to the school to listen to the lessons with the children. When I go home, I ask my son to teach me. Now I can read the newspaper by myself, and I can even write more than 100 words. They all say that I have nothing to do, stupid. This time, I will let them know who is smart and who is stupid. Number 576 gave him a thumbs up and was about to praise him when Chen Shihong suddenly pointed to the place where the sea met the sky in the distance and exclaimed, "There are boats, 2 of them, much bigger than mine." Number 576 quickly picked up the binoculars and looked in that direction. Yes, there were 2 triangular sailboats moving forward on the sea. Looking at that direction, they would come into contact with their side. Whose boats? They are not ours. We don't have such boats with triangular sails. They are cannibals. Why are there only 2 boats? Number 576 made a judgment. Chen Shihong followed and looked. He took the binoculars and looked, and was amused. Are the boats patched? I reckon that there should be quite a number of ships here, but they encountered wind or something. As a result, all the other ships were damaged. The remaining 2 ships were repaired after docking on that small island. How pitiful. What should we do? Ask all the fishing boats to come back. Send a report and ask for reinforcements. Guard the boats and set up the guns. Give me a gun. My weapons are all sunk in the water. It is really not the right time. Number 576 quickly gave the order. When the fishermen heard that there was danger, they did not care about fishing anymore. They gathered back and then rowed towards the land. The two guard boats stayed in place and did not move. They were not in a hurry. They could see the boats, but it would take some time for them to come over. Now, the wind was blowing from the land to the sea. Maybe the reinforcements of the hot air balloon team could follow the wind and arrive. Chapter 13-14. The Tang people on the fishing boats first saw the duo people's boats. The duo people's boats were large and had sails. After the Tang small fishing boats withdrew, the duo people on the boats did not know that there were many Tang people in front of them. The advantage of a jib sail was that it could be turned flexibly, whether it was with the wind or against it. It was just that when the wind was against it, it had to take a zigzag route. Now the people on the boats were doing this. Some people were constantly adjusting the angle of the sails so that the boats could continue to move in the direction they had set and reach land. Khalisi Muhammad sat on the deck of the first boat. His hands were in his sleeves and his face was covered, only revealing a pair of dry eyes and a pair of feet without shoes. His feet were cracked so much that one could even see the bright red flesh inside. A sea breeze blew, causing his veil to move. Two seagulls landed not far from him. They seemed to be tired from flying and wanted to rest. Khalisi Muhammad reached for the water skin, shook it in his hand, and carefully pulled out the stopper. He put his chapped lips on the mouth of the water skin to moisten it, then stuck out his tongue to lick it. He reluctantly put back the stopper and put it aside again. He now hoped to see land and then fill the water skin with water from the river. He would drink it all into his stomach, fill it again, and drink again. Only in this way could he keep away from the fear of hunger and thirst. He had been to the Tang Empire twice. The first time was 15 years ago, when he came to Chuanzhou with other believers to preach to the locals. At that time, some people died on the road, but those who survived gave the great gift of Allah to the locals. Then he went back with the local silk and porcelain, which were all contributed by the believers of Chuanzhou to Allah. When he returned, he was given a portion and exchanged it for sheep and camels. This was a gift from Allah for preaching, and he was grateful to Allah. But a drought took away all his wealth. He thought that it was Allah's punishment for not continuing to preach, so he came again. 3 years ago, he successfully survived under the protection of Allah and set foot on the land of Chuanzhou, waiting for the local believers to welcome him. However, he found that he was wrong. There were no believers. The temples that were originally built by believers were demolished, and the land was taken back. In the past, very few people came to preach. They were all helping the locals in exchange for food. The light of Allah could no longer illuminate the earth beneath his feet. Khalisi Muhammad creepily inquired with a person who came from the same place and found out that the locals no longer believed in Allah, and the name of Allah was gradually forgotten. They now believed in two people named Xiao Bao and Cuckoo, as well as their emperor. This was because their faith was not firm enough. A group of infidels, they did not know that when they gave up on Allah, Allah also gave up on them. Whether dead or alive, they would all be punished by Allah. Khalisi Muhammad had always felt that he was the messenger of Allah, and that he would turn everyone he met into a follower of Allah. But before he could continue preaching, his fellow believers began to evacuate, and he was taken away from the great Tang by someone else. Half a year after he returned, he received the news that the followers of Allah were planning to shine the light of Allah on every inch of land. But it was likely to be seen through by the infidels. The followers of Allah were not afraid of death, but they had to survive to continue to let others know of the greatness of Allah. Another 2 months passed, and he learned from his well-informed friends that the great Tang had launched a war against Allah's believers. They were using evil weapons to force believers back into Allah's embrace, and they might even launch an even larger war. So he was sent out to lead a ship to the prosperous Hangzhou of the great Tang to capture people who did not believe in Allah, and launch a holy war against the infidels. When he came out, there were 40 ships, 60 people on each ship. They came from the sea, but they could not be discovered by the infidel ships. Otherwise, the infidels would use evil weapons again to sink their ships. Khalisi Muhammad Creeli wondered why he did not have such weapons. The Almighty Allah could not be worse than the infidels. It must be Allah's test. People who believed in Allah were not afraid of evil weapons. There are really many infidel ships. Khalisi murmured a hoarse voice in his throat, and reached out to touch the water bag, and finally resisted the desire to take another sip. He remembered the ship he saw not long after he went out to sea. The ship was fast, big, and had sails but no oars. Not only did it have the same jib sail as his ship, but it also had a horizontal sail. When the wind was favorable, they hung full sails, and when the wind was against, they lowered the sails, but their speed was faster than when they hung the sails. He heard that this was a thing called a steam engine, which was also made by the infidels and full of evil. The infidel ships followed the outline of the land. Then his side could not continue to move forward according to the previous plan, otherwise they would be sunk by their gunships. The only way he could take was to go around. After going around and around, he encountered a strong wind, and the sea fell from the sky. One ship after another sank, and he did not know which wave knocked him unconscious. When he woke up, he was already on a small island, and there were other people, adding up to exactly 81, and the rest returned to the embrace of Allah. The wreckage of ships floated on the sea around the island, and only 2 ships were still intact. Everyone began to repair the ships and continue to move forward with the test of Allah. Even if there were only 81 people, even if there were only 2 ships left, the fire of the holy war would not be extinguished. Let the infidels know that Allah cannot be used to blaspheme, and dirty souls must be purified. But what about the land? What about the civilians of the infidels? Do you want to let the 81 people and 2 ships on your side fight against the enemy's fleet? In fact, Allah should send a more powerful fleet to the believers, and at the same time, there were sea supply rescue ships that patrolled every half a day. When he came back, he saw that the fishermen were not worried about encountering big storms. They did not go far, only around the range of the lighthouse. They had so many lighthouses, and he did not understand why they were built so close to each other. When the lights were on at night, the light of another lighthouse could be seen from one lighthouse. Even so, they still had supply rescue ships patrolling back and forth along their route. Their ships were loaded with medicine and their doctors. There were small boats on the big ships, with their canned food, fruits and vegetables, as well as changing clothes and countless fresh water. They accompanied their other ships, and the farthest one even followed the merchant fleet. When he went back, he specifically asked someone. The fresh water on the supply rescue ship was free of charge for the merchant fleet, and other things were not expensive. For their fishing boats, everything was free. He heard that he saw a pagan fishing boat was damaged by a whale. At that time, a supply ship passed by, rescued the people in the water, and then gave the fishermen a boat so that they could continue to fish. How could the sinful infidels be like this? That was what the believers of Allah should enjoy. There are boats, I see boats. The shouts of others interrupted Khalisai's thoughts. He stood up and followed the eyes of others. Sure enough, there were boats, 2 small boats, undulating with the sea. If you did not look carefully, you would not find them at all. It's a fishing boat. Someone shouted happily. Kalasai was also happy. They met a fishing boat, not far from the shore. First, they would catch the fishermen, then secretly go to their land and catch more people. In this way, the infidels would not dare to do anything to them. They believed in Xiao Bao and Cuckoo, and they cared about their lives very much. The people on the two boats began to drink water. They did not need to save anymore. There would be enough water for them to use soon. The people who drank water had strength in their bodies. They tried to adjust the sail, wanting to quickly contact the other fishing boat, catch their people, and complete their mission, Allah. When the many cannibals' boats were trying to get close to the escort ship, in order not to cause trouble to the escort ship, the fishermen who quickly returned to the land saw 4 boats in front of them. They were about the same size as their fishing boat, but their speed. Were they flying on the water? Come on, the many cannibals are going to meet them. Chen Shihong only had time to shout, and the 4 boats separated from the left and right sides of their fishing boat, leaving 4 clear traces of waves on the sea. He looked back again, and the 4 boats were 100 steps away. Chen Shihong was stunned. He looked at the others and saw that they were also stunned. He knew that he was not the only one who was dazzled. After a few seconds, Chen Shihong waved his fist. Damn, this is my Tang dynasty's boat. His mother, crazy, this is crazy. Chen Shihong shouted. When the others heard his movement, they came back to their senses and crazily shouted together to vent the shock, excitement, and pride in their hearts. I dare say that I guarantee that this is my Tang dynasty's new technology. It came from the Ministry of Works, which is Xiao Bao's father's place. It's so fast. If I knew that this kind of boat was coming, why would I run? I should have just stayed at the side and watched the show. Chen Shihong said regretfully. Just now, they were worried that they would be a burden to the escort boat, so they tried to leave. Before they set out, they had been told countless times that in the face of danger, if the rescue team did not send a signal to attack together, they should stay away from the danger and not cause trouble to the rescue boat. Especially in a naval battle, they should run as far as possible. They ran, but that was because they did not know that there would be another boat that was so fast. At that time, they were afraid that the many cannibals would not dare to touch the boats with guns, so they specifically looked for fishing boats like theirs. If someone was caught, the people on the escort boat would be afraid of taking action. But if there was a boat that came later, it did not seem to be a problem for them to stay there. The boat that came later would definitely have powerful weapons. I saw it. I saw that the boat that just flew past had small cannons. Why don't? A fisherman said what he saw and suggested at the same time. Everyone knew what he was going to say. Why don't we go back? Everyone looked at each other. They wanted to go back, but they were afraid that it would affect the soldiers on their side. If they went back and the soldiers were injured, not only would they feel uneasy, but they would also be criticized or even beaten up when they returned home. Why don't we wait a little longer? Maybe they need our help to capture the captives and those 2 boats. If they haven't sunk, we have to bring them back. Chen Shihong suggested. The nearby fishermen were all watching. No one made a sound. They had never touched a gun before. The older ones probably wouldn't have the opportunity in their lifetime. The younger ones were thinking about whether they should participate in the training when they go back and shoot a few guns to satisfy their craving. Will they attack us? A young man looked at the guns in the hands of the other person enviously and asked. I don't know. the person answered. The young man was depressed. He felt that he was far worse than the previous number 576. He was talking and laughing. He didn't owe you anything. Do you have to be so cold? Difference, this was the difference. Number 576 was the spy of the Zhang family and the Wang family. In terms of status, how many people could surpass him? He was very easy to talk to. At this time, another person came down from the lower hot air balloon. Everyone was stunned. It was actually a woman. She was very beautiful and carried a medical kit on her back. As soon as she came down, she smiled at everyone. When others saw her smile, some of them smiled back. Some of the young men lowered their heads, looking very embarrassed. Don't blame them. The 4 of them are new recruits. They have never been on the battlefield. They have only trained for 3 years. Usually, the instructor is strict, so they don't dare to joke around. They will be fine after they get familiar with it. The female medic smiled and explained to the crowd. She had seen the situation below from above, so she came down to explain. Otherwise, it would be wrong to be a soldier if they misunderstood when they were protecting people. The female medic had a good personality. When she said that, the expressions of the fishermen became much better. An old fisherman comforted them, "Kids, don't be afraid. If they really fight, you can put the gun on my shoulder. I will block their arrows for you. You can kill them all. Consider it as revenge for me. I have 1 foot in the coffin. I am not afraid of death." "Uncle, it's good to hear you say that. But if there is really danger, you have to retreat. If you block them, they will die when they go back. If you don't die, they will lose a layer of skin when they go back. Why don't you thank Uncle? You are all like wood." The female medic smiled and said to the old fisherman. Then, she changed her expression and gave orders to the 4 people. "Yes, Princess Tang Bei. Uncle, I apologize." The person in front of Qin Shihong was still as cold as before. He apologized to the old fisherman who spoke just now. Everyone started not paying attention to his apology. Instead, they looked at the female medic. "Princess. Princess Tang Bei. Which prince's daughter? Why did she come here? Princess, why don't you get married and stay at home? Why are you running around?" Princess Tang Bei glared at the soldier and explained with a smile, "My brother is Li Sun, Prince Tongthan. Now, he has nothing to do all day, so he runs between Tong and Prefecture and Bohai Prefecture. He said that the ice sculptures there are good in winter. I'm half a year younger than Xiao Bao and Cuckoo. I've been studying medicine since I was 6 years old. I just graduated from medical school last year and went to the border between Xinlua and my dynasty for an internship. In fact, I was using the people from Xinlua to practice. I originally planned to stay there when spring was warm, but it was too cold when spring was cold, so I came here. In the end, it was too hot. Today, we are holding a joint exercise. I'm flying with this balloon. I didn't expect that as I was flying, you guys would encounter many cannibals. Look, it directly changed from an exercise to a real battle. Let me measure your blood pressure." Everyone suddenly understood. No wonder they came so quickly. It was as if a ship flying on the water could travel. The hot air balloon came at the right time. That's not right. Why did you choose this time for the exercise? Qin Shihong was not stupid. The timing was too coincidental. To put it bluntly, we were worried that the patrolling people in front would not discover the cannibals and set up another line of defense behind. We couldn't tell the locals, or there would be panic. We were just looking for an excuse. Princess Tongbei did not hide it at all. After all, the enemy had already been discovered. Moreover, the fisherman in front of her had seen it. It didn't matter if she said it or not. The Imperial Court really thinks a lot for us. I came at a good time and have to live a few more years. Look, it's not good for a member of the royal family to come out and suffer. The old fisherman who had just said that he had one foot in the coffin now said that he wanted to live a few more years and even criticized Princess Tang. Don't always call me princess. My surname is Li, and my name is Qing. Li Qing, you can call me Qing. I came out to learn from others. The current royal family is not sitting still and waiting for death. We have to learn skills. We have refunded the income of our own territories and only rely on our own abilities to earn money to support ourselves. Of course, we can still live well even if we can't earn money. His Majesty has specially set up a fund for us to use. However, it's too embarrassing to count on His Majesty's money to support us. Now, it's popular for the royal family to come out and do things. Uncle, look, I'm out. When I go back to attend the party with them, I'll have something to say. How the fish are caught and why the seagulls are parked on the boat. If I don't come, I won't be able to get a word in when they say something. Princess Tang spoke to the old fisherman. Her amiable temperament immediately won the favor of everyone. Hearing the simple words coming out of her mouth, the fisherman's displeasure towards the cold soldiers immediately disappeared. One by one, they began to worry about Princess Li Qing. Qin Shihong frowned and asked with concern, Princess, when you practice medicine, does the medical center give you more money than your original territory? Of course. Not only do I practice medicine, but I also research medicine and sell it to Xinlua, Japan, and so on. How should I put it? In fact, those medicines still lack clinical experience, so it's not useful for you. However, Xinlua and Japan are not a problem. It's my ability to eat well, but it's their fate if they die. In fact, it's the same in Tang. The doctors have tried their best, but there will always be people who die. We are very sad, but there's nothing we can do. The technology is there, and not all diseases can be successfully treated. We'll be very happy if we cure a Tang person, but we'll be very regretful if one dies. If we want to be happy, we have to work hard. My income is not small, and it's all invested in medical research. My food and clothes are settled by Xiao Bao and Cuckoo's family business. The main reason is that it's convenient. Their family business is everywhere in Tang. In our circle, whoever earns less will be too ashamed to meet others. During the gathering, find a corner to sit and don't make a sound. Even the Crown Prince brother is the same. It has nothing to do with status. Whoever wants to use their status to pressure others will lose face when they say something to pressure others. And the most terrifying thing is that after you use your status to pressure others, if His Majesty finds out, you may lose your status. Occasionally, His Majesty will attend the gathering and talk about the battle between him and Xiao Bao and what victory he has achieved. In fact, we know that His Majesty always loses. He can't outsmart Xiao Bao. Li Qing covered her mouth and giggled. The fishermen laughed along. Their impression of the characters was revived by Li Qing's words. The gap in status still existed, but they seemed to be much closer to those people. While they were talking, the sound of cannons firing came from afar. They're fighting. It's definitely the sound of cannons. Guns don't make that sound, someone shouted. The 4 soldiers immediately raised their guns and looked in the direction of the sound without any expression on their faces. Li Qing quickly comforted them, don't be afraid, don't be afraid. They won't be able to hit us. The new diesel boat and airship are enough to deal with the enemies on 2 boats. The airship is very loaded. There are a few bombs in it. One is enough to destroy the wooden boat. When the telegram arrives, we'll go and help. I hope they don't blow up the boat. No one is afraid. We have a lot of people, but we don't have good weapons. If we really fight, we can still fight with the cannibals. A young man puffed out his chest and said. After a while, the sound of cannons disappeared. Someone in the hot air balloon shouted, "Princess, it's done. It's done. Let's go and take a look." Princess Li Qing didn't climb up. She stayed on the fishing boat and asked the people to go back. The fishermen quickly turned the boat around and paddled the oars, heading back to where they came from. Half an hour later, they met up with the escort boat. Both boats were there, but there was smoke coming out of them. The mast and sail of one boat were burning. Many cannibals were swimming in the water, and some were fading in and out of sight with the waves. This part was obviously dead. 6 escort boats set up machine guns and pointed at the people on the boats. They were jumping into the water along the ropes. Those who jumped down used their hands to hold the boat. In the sky, there were airships and hot air balloons with gun barrels sticking out of them. Some people had already landed on the deck of the boats and were using ropes to put out the fire. Why bother? You came all the way here to be beaten. You can't even collect your dead body. If you die in the sea, just bury it in the sea. Chen Shihong said with a compassionate look. Khaleesi Muhammad Kriyili was lucky not to be killed. You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.